black hole. Do you find it odd? This is how a black hole sounds like. Just deep, penetrating, weird, freaky sound. Almost like it's like a radio signal, but not a radio signal. It's interesting. It is eerie. Have you ever heard of the sound from the one deep hole in Russia? Yeah, the Hell's Hole. Yeah, the screams. It's really freaky shit, guys. Really freaky shit, bros. So, we're gonna start off with this live stream listening to a congressional UFO briefing from an astrophysicist named Eric Davis Briefs. There's shit going on. They have identified multiple, and I mean multiple, alien species, and they've talked to them, our Congress, and we didn't know anything about it. The lighting in here is so dark. It's all rainy and crazy today. You know? Let me turn up the light a little more, because it's really dark in here. Hold on. That's better. So much better. You know what? Tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. And I am wondering, since tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo, what if tomorrow we learn about Mayan gods? Mayan culture? You know? What do you guys think? Mayan culture? Yes? No? Maybe? Maybe not? Maybe? That sort of thing? I'm not sure. Have I just started? Yep, I haven't even started playing the video. I'm waiting for the hubbies. Thank you, Maya. Thank you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Bright is the morning, bright as the morning sun. 3 little birds outside my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true. They're saying, this is my message to you. You say I'm no worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Oh, your daughter's saying it in school? I love Bob Marley. He's so positive. And just, I had to listen to her sing it for months. Yes. Oh. Okay, let's just think about this real second. What makes you think that I or Jason would believe anything Benjamin has to say? There's only one Ben that I'd listen to, and that's Ben Kenobi. Other than that, I'm not going to listen or believe what Ben has to say. Okay? Because Ben Kenobi follows the Jedi way. And Ben Kenobi is proper and humbled when he faced his apprentice, Anakin Skywalker when he chose to be Darth Vader. And he protected Luke Skywalker and taught him the ways of the Force. No. No. We have spoken. No means no. Do you understand that, Ben? That no means no. That a woman is saying, no, get away from me. I don't want you around me, sir. And you're continuing to try to push your way into this feminine's heart. No. 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 And I have every right to say no to a man who is trying to exploit me and take advantage of me. No. No. Shoo. Shoo, little fly. Go fly away. Go somewhere else. I'm taken for and spoken for. The hell are you? Fuck! A dramatic moment was ruined! Where are you? Ah, there we go. I can still be dramatic. Nope. No. 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 Turnt toast. No. Go away. Go away. Shoo. Shoo fly. Shoo. Leave. Me not wanting a man in my life is not a democratic process, okay? He's harassing me, he won't leave me alone, and he's using other people to harass me and sexually harass me. Now, to my mods. Ben, anyone who mentions the name of Ben, they are not welcomed in my dojo. The queen has spoken. Goodbye, little flies. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Goodbye, little flies. Goodbye. Toodaloo. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful, stupid life. Good day. Good day. Good day to you. Good day to you. Anyway, I am currently waiting for the representative of my heart to come here. We had a fight last night. He decided to yell at me over something fucking stupid. Like, for instance, I thought I heard 7 days, and he heard 7 years. I couldn't hear him over the fact of him being like, I do it, I fucking do it, I fucking do it. And he's like, see, I told you it was 7 years! I look at him, give him the ugliest look I could possibly give him, and tell him, you promised you would stop yelling at me. Now, I have given you clear warning several times not to yell at me. I have told you not to yell at me. I have tried to tell you, and the whole time, he's just being an asshole, being like, yeah, okay. Shannon did. I gave him the silent treatment, and he learned from his reprehensible actions of yelling at me. I don't need to be yelled because I didn't hear something right. And he, for some reason, just could not get it in his head. Why? He's psycho. But it's been rectified and we've made up, so we've moved on from the fight. But the fight existed. But it was off air, so nobody heard what was said and how much of an ass he could be. Oh, well. Hi, honey! You're wet as fuck. You look like the Crow, it's hot.
You had it here raining.
Oh my god, you look so sexy.
All wet?
Yeah.
This is how I would come out if I were a wrestler.
There you go.
Drenched like this, and I come out like Raven like that.
There you go.
Even float DDT cocksucker.
There you go, hon.
And I would say cocksucker. Yes, I would.
And there you go.
I don't care. Censor me. Go ahead.
We're just discussing things.
Cool, you're on. Cool. How's
Yes.
everybody?
Some people are kind of being...
Well, we're going to be hated forever, so.
Ben is begging me again.
For what?
He wants you to go on the Drunken Peasants, and he's promising that he'll pay you royalties.
That, I think, is bogus.
Yes.
I'll put in the work, and I won't get any money.
Yeah, been there, done that, not doing that again.
Maybe he's thinking, you know, the fucking goth reverend fucking nut thing's cool. You know?
Cut us a check of $2,000 there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do a fucking year with you.
I'm willing to deal with you, Ben, for $2,000. How about that? And I won't be nice.
If they put 10 grand in my Venmo, I'll do an entire year of shows with them.
No.
Yeah, I do it.
No.
Yes.
That's too less money. Know your worth.
No, 10 grand is enough.
Nah.
I need money.
There you go, yelling at me again.
I need money. I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling to the air. I need money.
You gotta stop doing that.
I will do anything. I would do a lot of work for $10,000.
What should you do when you feel yourself initially getting frustrated?
Oh my God, Shannon. I was not yelling at you. Just like last night, it was not at you. Jesus.
Oh my God, is this the May 4th?
What?
It's May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Oh.
I completely ignored it.
I forgot about it.
I forgot about it. Oh my God. I had something that I was supposed to do and I didn't even do it. I ruined it. I ruined it. Well, I did talk about Ben Kenobi. So,
The spirit was there.
the spirit was still there, yeah. The force was still there.
We should play some non-copyright version of the Star Wars theme.
Nah, man, I got even better. We'll drop this, what we were going to do. I actually want to see that first. But
I got squishies in my
what I was going to
I don't
do
say anything.
is play for you guys KOTOR. And we can experience being a Jedi together. That was my plan. But I saw this congressional panel for alien species, and I was like, shit. You just bought the new Stegos Star Wars for someone? Oh my God. Lucky. What?
Whoa. That was weird.
Did you dissociate?
I don't know what that was.
You want to play KOTOR?
You mean you played?
Yeah.
Cool. I've never seen that really played at length.
You've never seen KOTOR played?
Isn't 2 better? I heard 2 is, like, real good.
Both of them are good.
2 has better graphics, obviously, right?
Well, yeah.
When are they going to remaster them?
I don't know.
They deserve
They
it.
should remaster KOTOR.
They deserve it. Oh my God, Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2 was the best Star Wars game I ever played. My buddy Sam and I, we were like fucking stormtroopers, you can't believe. We took down the entire Rebel Force, 2 dudes.
Jesus, you sound like Chris with him and his fucking
Right.
best
You
friend
sound like
Garth.
Chris, right?
That was his favorite game too. And him and Garth played it for hours. Yes, his best friend was named Garth.
Putty on Wayne. Righteous.
Someone gave me a message. What is it? I changed. Oh, it's Deanne. You like that, Deanne? What I just showed you on Instagram? Isn't that the shit? It's great shit. Anyway. You know, sometimes you gotta...
I'm like a wet rat.
Why don't you put on something that's
I
not
don't
wet?
care. I don't care enough.
Gavin's smelling you. He's like, you smell wet. Hi, Gavi.
I want wet food.
Pork and Beans gave us $2 and said you could cosplay in Jabba and Salacious Crumb.
Nice.
Yeah, as Princess Leia, bitch.
Oh, that's it, see? You just got owned. Well,
There you go.
$2.
Thanks for the $2, Pork and Beans. Don't block him or anything or time him out, man. He's a stupid troll. I'll give him leeway.
All right, let me do one, because someone asked me to do Salacious Crumb before.
Oh,
So just let me do it once.
okay.
That's all you're getting. That's Salacious Crumb.
There you go.
He's great.
Well, that's right. We're just going to talk about Star Wars all day. The spirit of Star Wars is something we all go through at this time of year.
That's it.
Gavin. Watermelon kind of looks like Salacious Crumb, actually.
Sometimes her hair does look like that.
I know.
Sticking out wild.
No, it's my net being garbage right now. It's raining out. It's gross. What the hell? Oh. Ah, perfect. So will what we just got. We'll be there Tuesday. I know, I can't wait.
All right, we did the right thing.
Tomorrow's going to be a fun day.
We did the right thing.
Or Tuesday's going to be a fun day. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Monday's my Ozempic day.
Yes.
You fell? How'd you fall, Shredder? He said I fell, Rev.
What happened?
What happened, dude?
What happened? What do you mean you fell? Look, once you're in Christ, you can't fall.
There's only one thing that Jesus won't forgive you of, and that's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
So, don't worry about it.
What happened? No. Don't even be sorry. Just tell me what happened, that's all. I'll be a counselor to you as much as I can be. Being as fucked up as I am.
So what was the argument about last night? Him yelling at me.
Oh, you shared that too, of course.
You shared it when you came in.
Yeah. What's shaving the goatee?
Dark Passenger, listen. Being an asshole to me doesn't make you edgy. It just makes you an asshole. Anything else?
That's a public service announcement. Alright, I'm just waiting for Shredder, because I want to see what's going on with them.
Okay. We're waiting. I let you down.
No, you didn't.
No!
Listen, did you go back to doing a ritual or something? Did you, do a ritual? Did you do some kind of thing you feel like is a personal indiscretion to Jesus? Just tell me what. Tell me what.
Tell me more.
There's no letting me down, and honestly, there's no letting Jesus down either. Do you still have faith?
Fucking crazy fog.
Hi, Lori. Ann.
Damn, barbecue chillin' for showing that.
I was in a tough spot and worked a ritual. That's fine. Absolutely. Just let it go. Jesus is going to understand that you had a history of this, and you may stumble and do it again, okay? It's no problem in Christ's eyes, trust me. Just repent of it and do your best not to do it again, okay? That's all he asks from you. So you're fine, Shredder. You're still in, okay, bud? You're fine. It's a walk. Once you legitimately come to him, too, you're going to have a lot of attacks and tests, okay? That's going to happen. One little slip of doing a ritual or something doesn't put you outside the kingdom again. It doesn't work that way.
No.
If you truly accepted him, you're sealed. You're in. Okay, bro? You're good. I'm here for you whenever and however I can be to talk to you through faith shit. I'm here for you.
You're sweet.
You called upon... I'm not going to say that name, but yeah. Hey.
Who's Paimon?
Why did you say it? You give them power by saying it. Don't do that. Okay. You did it. It's in the past. You just said, I repent, and you're good. Trust me. And if you stumble again, don't worry. Just repent. Try your best to not do it. Just do your best. That's all he wants, brother. Jesus Christ accepted a murderer and a thief into the kingdom the day they died with him. Do you understand? Shit happens. He understands that. It's a test down here. Your signed, sealed, delivered, brother. The guilt is the Holy Spirit, brother. You feel guilty?
Oh.
The guilt is the Holy Spirit. You're fine. That means you got the Holy Spirit, Shredder. God bless you. You're no problem. I love you, man.
Yeah, you really don't want to be calling the name of Baal, dude.
That's a very unclean spirit.
He doesn't give you power.
You're trying to escape it.
Yeah.
He wants you. These demons want your energy.
Listen, I have one too that chases me from my prior experience with summoning shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say her name. And,
Bothers you when it comes up.
I hate her. I hate her guts.
God bless you.
You'll understand.
God bless you,
Yeah.
brother. You can't listen. Unless some demon Get you to blaspheme the Holy Spirit, you're in the kingdom. Okay?
Yeah.
You're good. You're signed, sealed, delivered, bro.
Yeah.
You're good. Ball is a very unclean
Jesus,
spirit,
hippie,
though.
go away with your bullshit. William has been here plenty of times to say that you're full of shit, so...
I know.
Enjoy being full of shit. I'm not on SSRIs, Janice.
SSRI, no.
No, I'm not on any SSRIs, thank you.
Me either.
I never had guilt before. That's the Holy Spirit being offended.
Feeling guilty.
Yeah, that's the Holy Spirit being
That
offended.
is the grieving of the Holy Spirit, yes.
Yeah.
If you're in sin that way, that's going to happen. Okay?
Yeah, he doesn't want you to touch that guy.
It's unclean.
Yeah.
It's very dark and unclean. You don't want that in your life.
No.
But if you stumble, he understands.
Yeah, man. You're welcome.
He's the best dad ever, Shredder, you know? He'll always forgive you. If your heart's right.
Yeah, just try not to say his name. Want to think about them.
Yeah.
Because these type of spirits, when they latch onto you, they'll always chase you.
That's true.
So not give it... He's right about giving power name.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
You don't even want to say it.
Yeah. Especially if it's attached to you in some sort of way, you definitely don't want to say its name. Because they are waiting for you to say their name.
That's right.
They want you to... They want you to, like... You know how, like, vampires, they need... If they knock on your door, they need you to invite them in? That's the sort of thing they do. You call upon their name. That's a way how that you invite them in. You know what I mean?
That's truth.
So it's just best to just pretend they don't exist.
That's true.
He is a light to people, Shell.
Jesus? Jesus is the light.
No, Shellbell said, Reb, you can be such a light to others at times, and I truly enjoy this version of you.
Well, God bless you. That's who I was.
It's the version I love of him. The mean him, I hate.
Well, you can thank the trolls that came into my life for that. Because they pushed me to the point where my bipolar cracked. I was able to exist.
I
fine.
wish I could divorce that side of you.
Yeah, it's part of me, dude.
I know.
You gotta accept the bad and the good.
Well,
in a relationship.
I hate the bad. Your bad. Because your bad is really bad.
I hate your bad, too.
Well,
Everybody has a bad
my
side.
bad only pops out when your bad pops out.
No.
Yes.
Everybody has a bad side. Okay? No one's perfect. Shit happens.
How can a Christian deal with anger issues? How does anyone deal with anger issues? This isn't a Christian... This isn't a religious topic with anger, dude. It's a coping problem.
Yes.
Not a religious problem.
That's right. That's right. If you have to be depressed as opposed to angry, you should be depressed. Choose an emotion that's not anger. Because anger leads to what? No, fear leads to anger. Anger leads to
hate.
Hate leads to the dark side.
Hate leads to violence.
No, he doesn't say that.
Yes.
He says hate leads to the dark side.
No, he says hate leads to violence. Violence leads to the dark side.
Okay, Mandela, I need to see that. That's Mandela for me, if that's what it is. Because I thought I vividly remembered that.
Yoda's quote.
There is no try. Fear is the path to the dark side.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Oh, we were both wrong.
That's a Mandela for me.
That's true. Hate leads to suffering.
And suffering leads to the dark side. Ah.
Yes.
You have it tattooed on your arm, Wookie? That's awesome.
Dude.
That's fucking badass.
Dude.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the coolest tattoos I think you could ever have. That's awesome.
Everyone's responsible for their own behavior. That's right. But like I said, I only get pissed off. I'm a mirror, so if you're going to give me negative energy, I'm just going to shoot it back at you.
I mean, literally, it was that I just got too loud. That's what happened. And I'm sorry for that. Another part of my personality is radio voice, because I did radio for years. That messes with your internal voice.
I know.
It does. Alex talked about it a lot. And it pissed off his wife. It did. It did. He said Violet gets so angry at me sometimes that she throws me out of the house because I get too loud.
I don't blame her.
I don't either. I'd walk out, you know.
You need peace, not a raging man.
That's why I went into the dark room and sat there and smoked alone with watermelon next to me.
If you must rage, play a video game and get your rage out.
Exactly right. Yes.
Was just looking for some advice based on y'all's experience with anger, Shanny. We'd love to hear Rev's perspective on his anger.
No, I fucked up yesterday. Don't ask me. Take your meds on time, always. That's my only lesson that I could teach you. Make sure you take your meds if you're on them.
Shell Bell said, I too struggle with mental health and a woman in recovery going on 4 years alcohol-free. Congratulations on that, by the way.
God bless you.
I understand the struggles, Rev. We were stuck in those dark ways of thinking in a secret for so long.
You're right. What's that name?
Shell Bell.
Shell Bell. You're right. That's exactly correct. And sometimes I can't control my fucking mouth. I told you my grandfather did it all the time to my grandma, and it made no sense because he loved her more than anything in the world. It's just blah, vomit. It's equivalent to vomiting on you.
Well,
know what I mean?
Don't be surprised that I call you out on it, and I get pissed sometimes over it.
I don't blame you at all. Okay. Corn's plain sweet.
Silky Train, I'm not only a mirror for Jason, I'm a mirror for everyone and their shitty attitude.
Fucks.
You know, like I said, if you don't like the shitty attitude you give me, then why are you doing it? See, you give me a shitty attitude, I'm just going to reflect that back to you. If you don't like that shitty attitude, why are you doing it to me?
I bet I look fucking sick. That color.
Sometimes the way how to teach people to not be in bad behavior is to reflect their bad behavior. I do it out of love, not hate. There's the difference.
My God, don't I order enough from you, DoorDash?
They want more food?
Get the fuck out of here.
They're like Gavin, except by us.
Jesus.
Gavin's obsessed with... He's waiting by his food tray right now. He is. He's like, where is my food?
He's gonna be like 60 pounds.
Gavin.
Like, for real. He's eating way too much.
Gavin, no. You eat twice. You eat your wet food twice a day, and that's it.
No more than 2 times a day wet food. And then you can get hard food.
There's plenty of hard food.
Oh,
no!
Baby boy.
Gavin's.
Maybe a little more treats. We just gave him a handful.
We did give them a handful of treats. No. You're on a diet.
Yeah, he needs one. He does.
He really does.
He's kind of chunky.
Showbell's like saying I have the biggest heart, but that mouth sometimes. There you go.
See? When you're bipolar 1, it can just... there's no fucking warning. It's like a flipped switch. And it just starts.
Well...
I hate it. The only thing you can do is make sure you're on your medication schedule.
Yep.
That's the only thing you can do.
Speaking of which...
What?
It's 4 o'clock and I haven't taken my second dose of GABA yet.
Oh my God, I didn't log out.
Oh my God.
You know why?
Yeah.
It was raining.
I know.
Take my phone out. It would have broke.
Okay.
Oh.
They'll fix it.
It's always... they do it every week.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
It gets fucked up, yeah. This app is dog shit.
We don't need anything anyway.
No, I know. We're good.
We're
waiting in the mail for what we want.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. Yeesh.
So, shall we put on this video?
What are we watching?
The congressional UFO briefing about the species of aliens we have.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, they're finally talking about the species. This is crazy. The reptilians. The reptilians are a fact.
I can't believe this. No, okay. I have to hear this to believe it.
David Icke is right. All right, let's do this.
No, I have to hear this.
Yeah, they're showing more shit that Avi Loeb pulled up.
Avi Loeb, yeah. Now he's from Israel, right?
Yes, he's an Israeli UFO investigator. And
even more than that, though.
And more than that,
I
yeah.
think he was a professor.
I think he's also has a doctorate in like physics or something like that.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
Astrophysics or astrobiology, something like that.
I remember it saying he was a professor somewhere at like the University of Jerusalem.
Let me check real quick. Avi Loeb. Okay, this is obviously Avi Loeb.
You look hot as fuck. You know this.
Thank you.
Like your hair, and you got this like the black cord and necklace deal. Oh man.
He's I was right. A physicist. He's a theoretical physicist.
Wow.
Cosmology, astrophysics. Okay, yeah.
Harvard.
Yes. Wow. Abraham Loeb. He's Abraham, honey.
Abraham.
Yep.
Wow.
Institute of Advanced Study of Harvard University.
He went to Hebrew University of Jerusalem too.
Yep.
Wow. He has a PhD from them too.
Yep.
Wow. He's fucking insanely amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Thank you, DN, for the promo. Hit the thumbs up if you can, folks. It helps Shanny in the algorithm.
Yeah, he actually suggested that Oumuamua was
real. Aliens.
Was a spaceship.
Yeah.
I agree. It looks like there's like little fucking lights on it, like almost like windows.
It does not move like an asteroid.
No, it doesn't. Astrobiologist would be a wild flex. That's true.
That's what the character in my novel is, Tobias Schiller. He's a astrobiologist.
But I know some people might find this boring, but this is like actual evidence of aliens. Let's do this.
All right, a lot of stuff went down today, man. And then some. A lot of stuff went down. It's funny because I think that if this kind of thing went down like a year ago, everybody and their mother would be talking about it. But it's still, everybody is talking about it right now, but it's just, I guess because we've had, yesterday when we were talking, we did a members post. And
oh, before I start this, by the way, this is Down to Earth with Christian.
What's his last name again?
Yeah, Down to Earth with Christian Harloff. UAP News. He's great.
I love this channel.
He honestly, to tell you the truth, he sounds like garlic bread.
Kinda, a little bit.
All right, a lot of stuff went down today, man. And then some. A lot of stuff went down. It's funny.
I swear to God, it's the same voice as garlic bread.
Oh my God, maybe it is him secretly. No, people have seen garlic, right?
How does garlic bread look like?
Yeah, I think people.
Because I think that if this kind of thing went down like a year ago, everybody and their mother would be talking about it. But it's still, everybody is talking about it right now. But it's just, I guess because we've had, yesterday when we were talking, we did a members post, and we said like the hype has been all over the place because you get these false promises and other things, and there's been people talking about these briefings that were coming up. I was like, well, anything going to come of them? Well, it looks like it's certainly possible that a lot of big information was indeed dropped, at the very least, in front of Congress. It was a hearing, not a hearing, but it was a briefing rather. And there's a ton of
garlic bread is a ginger. Oh, okay.
People have seen him, yeah.
I'd like to see him.
Chantal made fun of him, say he was fat pig. She's such a fucking. Ugh.
Says the fat pig.
She's such a bitch, man.
He's a big guy? Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of stuff that was dropped, and a ton of things that were said that it is absolutely bonkers that, we're going to be hearing about this through a channel like mine.
No, he sounds like him. Mm-hmm. I thought garlic bread looked like this dude, actually.
Yeah, I was
like,
thinking
his voice sounds like that. That he's like this big, muscular type of dude.
Semi-muscular.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Built right.
Yeah, a built dude, This guy's got a nice body, actually.
I mean,
he looks good.
He needs to eat a little less that fat and pump more iron.
Well,
and then it'll look awesome.
I like it. I think you're attractive, man.
Anyway. Reddit or the various Twitter accounts or social posts or people that are covering it in the community, obviously you're going to do. But this should be covered everywhere, as I say. But there's lots of different outlets that covered it. There's a good one that I saw that kind of broke down a lot of the things that happened. We'll play some of the video also. But here's some of the stuff that happened in the hearing. This one was by the Star. UFO congressional hearing bombshells as ex-NASA boss shares possible UAP not investigated. Understanding UAP Science and National Security Innovation was held on Thursday, where scientists had the chance to speak to U.S. Congress members about the evidence for aliens. The U.S. has been accused of hiding evidence of UFOs from the public during a bipartisan congressional hearing on Thursday, May 1st. A number of experts spoke to government officials from a science-driven perspective at the briefing on unidentified anomalous phenomenon, as it is become more commonly referred to these days, about the possibility of alien life in the universe. The House Committee on Oversight and Accountability, with help from the UAP Disclosure Fund, held the event called Understanding UAP Science, National Security, and Innovation. Scientists told members of the Congress that they required a bigger part in the role of investigating UAPs and other explained phenomena. Key speakers included... Man,
how do you get into this? How do you get to do this for a living? Like, researching UFOs and shit? Because I'd love to do that. Why? I'd be like, we could be like Mulder and Scully, but without the FBI.
Oh my god. It's usually either in government or universities that they just fall into it.
I want to so bad.
You can join MoveOn.
What's been Allie and the whole traffic and stuff? The same old, same old. Right now they're trying to get Trump to do something about this, and he's not doing anything. They thought he would, but he lied on a lot of his promises to people, so nothing really. She came on, what was she talking about? To focus on the children. So
that's about
but there's only so much you can do about the situation. I don't know what Allie expects us to do. Are we supposed to just be paranoid of everyone around us,
No,
or
no. Talk about it.
Well, I do talk about it.
That's her point.
I do talk about it.
That's really all you
But the
can
thing
do.
is like, the children trafficking is linked to this shit as well.
Yeah.
So let's go on. It's way bigger than it. It's secrets and lies and...
So when...
Tammy said, years ago, I was working on being a MUFON field investigator, but I never finished the test, just dropped it. Oh my god.
Oh, there's a test. Cool.
Dude, I need that information. I want to do it.
We passed that.
That'd be
test without even
great.
studying.
Right?
Former Pentagon official turned UAP whistleblower Lou Elizondo and Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb. Here's that picture by Lou showing a unvetted photo of an apparent UAP. Ex-Pentagon official Lou Elizondo held up an unvetted photo of what he said was a UAP taken by a civilian pilot.
He won't release the Epstein files because he's on the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Him and Elon. There's so many names. You know. We got another Windows update.
Oh
anyway.
God.
I'm not getting in that.
Fuck yeah.
But,
No, we don't. No, we don't.
The thing is a long time ago, Anonymous dropped the Epstein log. And, it's already been floating around on the internet for a long time now. So, like, we already know the names on it. Kathy Griffin's even on it. Like, I thought you hated Trump. Zutful Power Broly. Oh my god. Broly. Kakarot's. Nemesis. Okay, Broly's on Dragon Ball Z. Well, the movies. And basically, Broly is from the planet Vegeta, the same one that Goku's from and Vegeta's from. You know, they're Saiyans. And he is the first Super Saiyan. And he kicks the shit out of Goku until Goku learns his power.
You know, I feel exactly the same way. The way that you feel about magic, I feel about Dragon Ball.
There you go.
He went on to emphasize the uncertainty that
Yes,
military,
too.
commercial, and civilian aviators all face when they either witness or document UAPs in U.S. airspace. Do they report it to the FAA? Do they report it to NORAD? Maybe the Air Force? Once again, you would think this information would be important for somebody to look at, he said.
Oh shit. Kakarot! I love you. That's awesome.
If these are oversensitive military installations, whose are they? What are their capabilities? What is the intent? And there's a picture of Mike Gold, who's a former NASA associate administrator, revealed images also in the space agency's archives. Now, this is where it gets kind of hairy. Private sector is apparently using alien technology. A founding partner of technology investment company American Deep Tech claimed that private sector firms are building new inventions based on alien systems. Dr.
Wow.
They gave the technology to the private sector.
Of course. Monetize.
Yeah. Can you figure this shit out? We can't.
There's guys that
Anna Brady Estevez, who once worked with NASA on space economic policy, said she had helped fund entrepreneurs with UAP-inspired inventions. She then said they were working on advanced energy. They were working on advanced communications. I funded companies working on what the entrepreneurs later described as UAP-adjacent or UAP-inspired technologies. However, 3 investors were forbidden to give away too much detail about their technology due to the researchers' classified nature. The ex-NASA boss claims UAP not investigated. Mike Gold, an ex-NASA associate administrator, revealed some stunning photos just sitting in the space agency's archives that have yet to be investigated as potential UAPs. Gold, who is now the president of civil and international space at tech company Redwire, shared a number of unexplained images taken by NASA on Mars and the Moon. One included another sighting of the so-called Tic Tac UFO, which recently appeared on the surface of Mars after several sightings over the Pacific Ocean. He asked, why are we not investigating this? It's certainly worth the effort to investigate it, and we're not doing it. Avi Loeb also spoke about fragments of metal that he and his colleagues recovered from the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, those are those little balls he found in the Pacific Ocean.
the Bucky balls.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't know where these come from. And they're from a material that nobody knows.
That's insane.
Like, nobody knows what this is. This
Wow.
element. They don't know what it is.
That's very crazy.
In 2023, secret program recovered alien spaceships. Research physicist Eric Davis said that the U.S. government has been operating a secret program recovering crashed UFOs since the 1950s when Dwight Eisenhower was president. Davis worked as a subcontractor and then a consultant for the Pentagon UFO program since 2000.
Broly, if Carrie actually did that, that's a lie, because William doesn't use the phone. And he wouldn't talk to some 40-year-old woman other than his mom. That's fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
2007. He claimed that the program began after the discovery of a crashed UAP in 1944. Since then, he said that a lot of the technologies recovered over the years from these wreckages have been secretly moved to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio without any congressional oversight or approval. In addition, project code names have changed every few years to cover up the Defense Department's actions. He once concluded that we couldn't make it ourselves after seeing some of the recovered materials himself. Huge disinformation campaign by the U.S. government. A retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral blasted the U.S. intelligence community for a disinformation campaign and covering up alleged military sightings of UAPs. Tim Gallaudet said that the Navy has a trove of data on UAP from pilots and other personnel, yet none of it has been released. Gallaudet called on the White House to share this information with the public and noted that he had just received the reports from the Navy members who had seen UAPs. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff, and it's the thing that is important is that they're talking to people within Congress. They're talking to people who are trying to get this information.
That Christian Slater picture behind him is fucking awesome. I love Christian Slater so much.
My favorite is the Eternal Sunshine one. That's my favorite. Over Rocky, even.
Yeah?
Yeah. With Clementine with Jim Carrey, with Jim in Eternal Sunshine. I love it.
If I could get that Bruce Lee statue for you, I would.
I know you would. That's awesome. Thank you.
You'd be like, oh, you love me.
He's got snake eyes, too, which is awesome. The old school snake eyes. Awesome.
Information. And these are people, Eric Davis, who's respected, and you get someone like a Tim Gallaudet. You have all these people who are talking. This is, to me, bigger information that has come out even.
Carrie talks to 18-year-old. She's a groomer.
Since the stuff that Grush was talking about, because these are people, this is confirmed things that Eric Davis is saying, and he goes in a little further about gray aliens and all these other things that are here, the Roswell stuff. And if you're Burleson, who we'll see in a video clip in a second here, who has been, first of all, an advocate of trying to get to the truth and trying to find out conversation about what all of this is, hired David Grush, who said that he had heard and he had had conversations with people who we have recovered non-human stuff before. And Burleson has been very vocal in saying he doesn't necessarily believe in aliens and things of that nature and anything otherworldly, but he knows something is going on. He wants to get to the bottom of it. So kudos to him for being in the room. The question is, after hearing all this stuff afterwards, does his opinion start to change at all? Then we'll also get into the fact that Lou debuts this photo, and this is my question.
Holy shit, get to the fucking point. I want to see the fucking congressional shit. There.
Jesus Christ.
I don't care.
This was cut bad.
Oh, I see AOC. Is that AOC? It might be. AOC is usually there, too.
She isn't.
So it very well could be the answer.
Yay, I love me AOC. I love me AOC. I love me AOC. She loves her constituents. That's why I love her so much. And Jamie Raskin, he also loves his constituents. And then there's always Bernie Sanders. Oh my God, I love Bernie Sanders.
That's how when he's fired up. That's
oh my God,
he does the finger
he
thing.
could not talk without his hands. Him sitting on his hands, he couldn't talk. What's up, Tim Tam? How you doing, Tim Tam?
He gets fired up.
Right?
I don't know, but watch this clip here from Eric Davis talking to the Burleson and Luna and all of them. Here, check this out.
And so, a long story short is that I came into contact with industry leaders, technical scientists, both active duty and later retired, as well as intelligence officers, generals, admirals, colonels, people who directed intelligence or human intelligence collection and analysis directorates at the DIA and the Central Intelligence Agency, who reached out to me to have me do some foreign UAP intelligence analysis and assessment. And so I have been exposed to so much in the classified realm that I can tell you definitively that there is a there there. The human race.
There isn't a there? Huh?
There's no there.
What do you fucking mean? There isn't a there.
Basically, the world's biggest governments, like the United States, our adversary China and Russia, at least as far as I know, have had the occasion to recover craft that have either landed or crashed or both in their territory or even outside of their territories, and have taken those back to the most sensitive of their programs that they've ever had. These programs are even more sensitive and more well hidden than the Manhattan Project was, or the modern nuclear weapons industry and the US.
It was more hidden than the Manhattan Project?
Yes. It's alien technology.
I mean, yeah, but not many people know what the Manhattan Project was.
I do. I mean, it's for
the nuke. Oh, it's more than the nuke. They made like ships disappear with the Manhattan Project, and
it's the Philadelphia experiment.
Was it the Philadelphia
yes.
experiment? Okay, wrong one.
The military and the Department of Energy programs to maintain and upgrade and modernize our nuclear weapons arsenal. And so this is one of the most well hidden programs. It is hidden from congressional oversight and always has been. And it was hidden by the action of President Eisenhower, who instituted presidential.
He's speaking straight fucking conspiracy theory now. The Eisenhower shit, man. When he met the aliens.
Emergency action directives during his administration. These directives are
I
not shown
think the CIA just confirmed it.
No way. Then, well, okay.
in Congress. They're classified, and when the Freedom of Information Act was instituted in the 70s, it is not those are not subjected to the Freedom of Information Act request. These directives provide cover for actions that are associated with the retrieval of these vehicles and the scientific and engineering study of them. And that takes place within the industry. What happens is the Department of Defense offices, CIA offices, they create shell companies. They give a sole source contract to the shell company who passes the money to a selected group of defense industry firms, contract money, and turn them around and use that as internal funding. It's called internal research and development funds, which they give to their own people inside their country, their own employees, to do the reverse engineering and
You'd think the government would pay more for better microphones
I think they don't want you
and
to hear
equipment. Yeah, I don't think they want you to hear it either.
Yeah.
Bastards.
analysis and study of these recovered vehicles. And so this avoids all congressional oversight. It avoids the gain of 8. And it's one of the most clever techniques used to hide it. And
Gain of 8.
as far as I know, only one 4-star general and one 3-star admiral were able to locate these programs. And that's about as much as I can say. They located the programs and they uncovered them. One got a lot of resistance and hostile reception and was...
Oh my god. The government was met with resistance and hostile reception by the aliens. They were hostile? Ah, fuck, we got enemies, dude.
Told that he found who he was looking for. They were who they were suspected of being. Yes, they were a UFO, UAP, crash retrieval, and reverse engineering program. The other one had a lot more political power behind him because of his stature as a 4-star general. And he was able to get into the program and use his authority and his access. I think they call that a super user. The super user has access to all Windows and all special access programs. So he had his capability to get into that whole thing. I was fortunate to meet Dave Dresch at the behest of Jay Stratton. Dave was a NRO liaison officer to the UAP task force, and Dave was working for his boss at the NRO, which was situated in the second floor skiffs of the Aerospace Corporation building in Colorado Springs. And I was assigned to work at the Aerospace Corporation facility in Huntsville, Alabama, because I was supporting NASA's Space Nuclear Propulsion Program office. So Jay put Dave and Dave's boss and I together, and I briefed them for 2.5 days, just a week before COVID struck. And Dave took all of my classified and proprietary information of all the investigations I did at NIDS, AFRO, and working for helping out at ERTEC, and he took that data and ran with it. And what you now know, the aftermath of that was his complaint to the IG of the IC. And so there is a there. We have had this program going on in various guises, various code names. Code names change roughly every 3 years. They often shift around to the major office and programmatic reorganizations from presidential administration, maybe every 5 to 10 years in some cases. And so these things are very old. They come in, they've gone, but they're still around. And the amount of money that's been involved, I would say since the beginning in 1944 with the first recovery in Italy, of the U.S. Army's recovery of a craft that crashed in Italy back in 1933. The United States Army, when it invaded Italy and pushed the Third Reich out, they were able to recover that craft and bring it back to Wright Airfield. And all of the crash retrievals that have taken place generally on land have gone to Wright Airfield. The majority of the crash retrievals or recoveries of whatever situation it was take place in the maritime environment. And I'm not sure where that is going. I think they're probably also going to were in those days Wright Airfield. I don't know where they're going today though, because I've only worked on the legacy history of this part of it up until about the early 2010s. And ever since the end of the OSAP and the ATIP, I don't know where those operations are going on these days. So I think that's about it.
I mean, this is the biggest thing that has happened so far. This is the discussion of basically...
So we have non-hostile aliens and then we have hostile aliens showing themselves, and we're recovering crafts from them. But I'm more interested in the races of aliens that we have in this world, not the, so much of collecting craft and stuff, okay? It's already been spoken before that that craft has been collected by our governments of the world. But the species of aliens, that's what I want to know. I want to know what our space brothers and sisters are and who they are and what they represent and their culture and all of it. I want to know about these cultures of these aliens, If I was anything, I would be a non-human entity anthropologist in this topic of aliens.
one of the guys who gave information to David Grush, and the whole reason why he became the whistleblower in the first place of some of this information that he got. Talking to Congress and telling them, yeah, look, this is how they do this. This is some of the stuff. This is the way they hide some of these things. This is the program that they have. This is what they have. He's telling them all this information. This is one of the biggest things so far, where he's describing the...
Hi, Deadhead.
Yo.
You're so lucky you got some Eddies.
Oh.
2,500 milligrams.
Oh my God, that's bigger than a wheelchair.
I want one.
Wow.
How the people that have been covering, he talked about the crash in Italy. He talked about the things that Grush talked about. And he
Welcome, Deadhead. They are all plants, all of them. No, they're not.
described in detail on how some of the things are covered up, the people who have had access to it in general. And he's sitting there talking to Congress, people in Congress about this. And this is...
Tam said last time I ate a pack of gummies, I was driving and couldn't figure out how I was doing it.
That's amazing.
Oh, hit you hard, huh?
This is a major, major story. And as much as that was that huge clip with all the stuff that was interesting, and it's funny because with Burleson, I can't really tell. I can't tell if he's like taking notes or checking emails. I don't know. Like he's typing, but then I'm like, oh, he's not even paying attention. Then he looks over. It looks like he's kind of intently looking, and he writes down. So I can't tell if he's telling notes or what he's doing. But he did ask a question, and he's talking about, as I mentioned before, when it comes to alien races and things of that nature.
Wild.
This is the clip that I thought was just bonkers.
Are they multiple species? Are they like, what was their size? And how many are usually on a craft?
They're typically the multiple species people are familiar with, the Greys, the Nordics. People are talking about reptilians and insectoids. It's not that they're reptilian or insectoid, it's that they resemble to the recipient of reptile or insect type.
They resemble to the recipient of a reptile.
Human.
Or
Because it has
human.
a head and 4 limbs and a torso.
So large, small,
Human size, human scale.
and are there how many are crew?
Well, the Greys I'm familiar with from
Grays are definite.
I think the
Grays are 100% definite. And I think we have enough eyewitness accounts to say that they're real.
Yeah, I think they're synthetic though.
They might be synthetic.
Like Deep Black Project government ship made them.
Possibly.
Because
That's the crashing corona, which is misnamed the crashing Roswell. It's not the crashing Roswell, it's the crashing corona in Mexico. Those were Greys, those were both tall. And the Nordics are typically human size.
Nordics are real, okay. Grays and Nordics.
Wait though.
Okay.
Is he stating that this is fact according to the government now? That these
Yes.
exist?
Yes. So, Grays, Nordics, Reptilians.
Okay, that's 3.
Where are the Pleiades?
Well, they are the Nordics.
They're
the
not.
same.
No, they're blue.
I haven't heard.
Pleiades are blue.
I heard the Pleiadians look like Nordic people.
Pleiadians are blue.
Okay.
Why do you think I'm always blue? Because I believe I'm a star child from the Pleiades.
Okay.
So, like a past life or something, like my energy was there.
Probably, I come 5'6" feet tall.
I guess mine was.
And same with the people who mislabel reptilian and insectoid, they're roughly that type too. I haven't heard anything about
Insectoids are. He hasn't heard anything reptilian or insectoids, he said. Let's put that back. I want to make sure that's what it was said.
reptilian and insectoid, they're roughly that type too. I haven't heard anything
It's a misrepresentation of them saying they're. Okay, so they exist, but they don't like being called reptilian or insectoid. Okay.
about anything 7 or 8 feet, 9 feet tall. Of that nature.
So there you have Eric Davis, who has pretty much just told Congress that there are 4 alien species
Physicist.
that we know of, and talked about the Greys. This is one of those things where you know that these guests, that these speakers that they're having coming in, they're vetting, and they're saying, okay, we want to hear from these people that we're going to find out all this information so we can investigate on, and we want people that we're going to take serious. Because if not, they're going to look like fools, right? So if they have somebody, if it turns out that Eric Davis is an absolute lunatic, and that he's just making things up, and like you'll get the debunkers who are going to be calling him a lunatic and calling him all these different things, it's just old hat in the same way that, the typical people who you're going to see tweet about this are going to just start discrediting him and going after it. We know that's going to happen. But if they don't do the vetting, Congress that is, and find out exactly what it is that he does know, doesn't know, credible, they're going to look like fools because they're putting their kind of careers on the line here too. Luna, Burleson, all of them. I said this many times over. This is as much about a spotlight for them as anything else too, because this has propelled them. And imagine.
Well, speaking about aliens, has had deadly consequences in the past.
Mm-hmm. True.
And threatening your family, just like it's bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it used to be bad. Now it's more open. Police officers can report this.
Mm-hmm.
Pilots can report it. It's not shunned like it used to.
That's true.
You know?
God.
I know, right?
It's time for
because these are real human experiences, and not only like this current, timeline, but you see Renaissance paintings of them making UFOs, and the Mayans had UFOs and spaceships.
The
Egyptians,
really, I think the Egyptian
Yeah.
hieroglyphs like accurately depict some of these fallen angels.
In India, you have the ancient cultures talking about the Vamanas.
Yeah.
So these things have been around us. In my opinion, our whole human existence.
Yeah. They were always here.
Yes.
Well, after in Genesis 6.
Yes.
That's when they came.
Yes.
And it's in all cultures, pretty much.
Yep.
It's there.
And the flood.
And the flood. Absolutely, it's everywhere.
I'm not going to call these ancient cultures of ours liars. I'm just not, or myths.
The Genesis 6 angels impregnating women connects with Noah and the flood. The flood came because of that genetic crazy shit.
Exactly.
He had to wipe that shit out. But apparently, some of them still survived.
Which is believable because other cultures existed that aren't connected to Noah.
Yeah. Well, they say he's Gilgamesh and stuff like that, but I don't believe that.
I think it was a different person.
I do too. And shit like that.
If mainstream does actually cover this topic, and it starts to actually unravel something, like when you hear all the stuff that Eric Davis was talking about within the cover-up of that actual the program, the reverse engineering, all the stuff that David Grush had talked about, and how he essentially got this information.
The Bible talks about aliens.
And if mainstream started covering that,
Open up to Genesis 5, it's right there. Or Genesis 6.
Yeah, technically it happens
Genesis
in
6.
6, but yeah, you could read 5 for context.
Yep. And then there's Ezekiel.
Yeah, Book of Enoch. That's the main.
Definite Book of Enoch.
The Book of Enoch is okay. You have to understand, Maya, that like aliens are fallen angels. This shit that we're seeing is pretty much fallen angel activity.
I say it's both.
It's mixed. Like that thing that they saw in the sky that looked like literal angel wings.
I think that's an
transforming. I think that was a seraphim.
It was a good one.
It was a seraphim.
Yeah.
So there's good and bad aliens, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So you'll know.
and it starts to actually start an investigation also to where they're starting to see these things that he's talking about actually were factual, and that they start to find out more information.
Oh my God. It's real, guys. Our government is confirming this shit.
I mean, an astrophysicist believes it. That's enough to me.
But Congress is researching it, and they're saying it's real.
There you go.
It's confirmed, pretty much.
As they said in that the other day when we did the video, where they're going to start to look certain places, and they're starting to get information, and they're getting information here. Now, I like the fact that Luna and Burleson are there. Now, I would love to see follow-up interviews. I'd love to do a follow-up interview, but I would love to see a follow-up interview with somebody with Burleson or Luna and ask them, what were your thoughts on what...
Hi, Cookie Pop. How are you? May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
Eric Davis was saying. The other question I have now too, right, is Eric Davis going to testify in the next like big hearing that they do? Let's get that under oath. Let's hear that. Like this is a briefing. They're getting a briefing of all these different things, but this is still a major briefing where we're telling people of Congress that there are 4 alien species. This is no longer a science fiction movie where they're like, oh, okay, yeah, UFOs could exist, and then we have a massive meeting, and there's a Congress, members of Congress talked to some of the top scientists, and Jeff Goldblum went in there and he told them there are aliens out there. This is actually happening. This is actually happening. That you have people who are saying this. You also have
Makes sense. Jeff Goldblum would say that.
The government told them aliens exist.
Lozano showing this
Lou
photo
Lozano.
that we had seen before that was apparently taken by a civilian.
I don't think he is.
But to me, the most
They all come off very honest.
relevant thing here is the conversation that Eric Davis is.
now.
Oh, I know Bob Lazar is real, man.
I'm convinced that he's real.
I hate Star Wars. Give me horror films and thriller. I'm happy.
That's fine. Yeah.
Princess, have you seen the movie Hush? Such a good one. That's a good horror. It's about this deaf girl, and she's being stalked by this guy when she's living in the middle of the woods. It's great.
I think the best horror movie ever made is The Right.
You haven't seen Hush yet.
No, I don't think I did see that.
Is having here, because this to me makes or breaks your career if as far as a politician goes.
Ooh, that new one with Josh Hartnett was good too.
That was really good.
What is it called? The new Josh Hartnett one?
I don't know, but that's not horror really. It's a thriller.
Well, I guess so. But she wanted thrillers too.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's M. Night Shyamalan. It's M. Night Shyamalan's latest movie.
Yeah,
Whatever.
with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah. That was so good. He plays a fucking phenomenal nut.
I know, and I'm not used to that because Joshy is always sweet.
Usually, yeah.
He always plays the sweet guy.
He's like the Boy Scout in every movie.
And he played the stoner in The Faculty.
Oh, I don't remember that movie much at all.
I've seen Hush. It was a good one. Yes, it was. Oh, I have that one on my list. Hush, it's great.
If you haven't seen Evil, the series Evil, you should see that.
Yeah, that's on Paramount.
That's a
good show.
If you're into horror. Oh.
No, I didn't watch the platforms. All right.
What would Good Omens be considered? Fantasy?
Good Omens?
It's fantasy, I think.
Religious comedy?
Oh my god, that's wild. Yeah, maybe. That's like Monty Python.
Yeah.
Religious comedy.
Oh my god, Princess just called the faculty old.
Well, it is. What year did that come out? Like 98?
No, 2000 or 99, something like that. I was a teenager and gushing over Josh, though.
Of course, yeah.
Josh Arnett is bae.
Because you could look, if other people are looking at this and also saying, let's say that, again, Eric Davis is a straight up, he's not telling the truth. Let's say he's out of his mind. If I'm in Congress and
Why would he talk like that if he was lying? He didn't indicate he didn't indicate that he was lying about anything.
I'm opposing Burleson,
I know.
you know, and I'm looking, I'm going,
things to pay for it.
this guy's spending his time talking to Alien Boy over there. He's out of his mind.
Yeah, it is.
They're all gone. Like John
898,
Lovitz in The Wedding
99, yeah.
Singer. He's losing his mind, and I'm reaping all the benefits. And they'll use that. Well, what are Luna and Burleson doing? They're investigating alien species.
Oh my god, I'm gonna try and have
But
AI generate.
if this starts to really unravel,
Star Wars I made.
and they're on the forefront of information that comes out of some of these companies, these tech companies, these other places that Eric Davis calls out in that first video there, it's going to make their career. And then some. These are going to be people you remember for the rest of your lives because they were the ones who helped bring this to the forefront. Now the question is, does this move the needle? The answer is, this should move the needle. I'm always talking about in the videos, what does this really do in general? This should move something. This should get people talking. This should get you excited in a way that you were like,
Most people like they exist. I don't get it.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, does nothing get you anymore?
Yeah, exactly. They're just so whatever.
It's like,
Dude, it's aliens, man.
fucking atheists. They're like, oh, I don't care. Oh, fine, they exist. Whatever. That's no big deal.
What the fuck? I thought you guys were excited over that.
They have this normalcy thing. Oh, that's normal. Oh, that's normal. These totally new weather phenomenon, right? They just go, oh, that's normal. The hell are you talking about it for? It's normal.
there's no new information. There's none of this. We've heard Eric Davis talk before. He talked to Jesse Michaels. He's talked to other people before. We've heard him speak before. It's not the first time he spoke. But this is a briefing that we're having here. And you had Avi Loeb there who finally, again, these are all people that you've heard talk about these particular things on podcasts. I had Avi Loeb on, and he talked about the things that he found in the water and other things too. I'm not in Congress. I'm not surrounded by other people who are finally telling their stories on the record here to get this out there to see this is the investigation. This is where you guys need to look. Let me help you out. That's what this was all about. This is a massive story. It's a massive story. The question is what happens next. If this is the type of stuff, now this is where you would hope the influence of David Grush comes from, right? You hire David Grush, and David Grush says you need to speak to Tim Gallaudet, you need to speak to Eric Davis, you need to speak to Lou Elizondo.
Cookie Pop said, as a millennial, my whole life has been one traumatic event after another, so yeah, I'm kind of blasé about everything.
I mean, that's fine.
Me!
But I mean, it's a huge deal that the government is now confirming that there's 4 species of aliens.
Yes,
That's a huge
that they know of.
fucking deal. Huge.
I know. I want to talk to them. I want to know them.
You need to speak to Avi Loeb. These are the people you need to speak to. You got to have them. They were going to tell you certain bits of information, the things that there was stuff that was seen on Mars that we're not covering. Talk to the guy from NASA. See what he said. Talk to these people. These are the people that are going to get you information and take you to places. These are some of the people that told me stuff, and now they're going to tell you stuff. That to me seems like the influence of David Grush. And it also shows that they are actually taking it seriously and doing what they said they were going to do. So this to me is a major win here today.
Hey, being a millennial has been tough, but the video game industry and us having knowledge of pretty much the whole thing, it's pretty cool.
We saw it from, not Pong. Pong is a little too old.
Yeah.
But we saw the beginning.
The Nintendo age.
The beginning of home gaming.
I say the whole home gaming started specifically with Nintendo. I know there was the Atari.
The cards.
But it was more like the Nintendo did the big boom to it. You know? And we saw the generation of, like, these little, like, pixels just going through the screen to, like, just people that look like us now in video games.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty impressive if you think about it. Like,
we saw the whole spectrum.
Yeah, we saw the whole evolution of it.
That's true. Yeah.
So, we may have had one traumatic event after another, but we coped through video games.
Yeah. But Pong was like most people didn't have a Pong machine because it was too expensive. They were like, I think my dad paid $300 for the Odyssey, and it was literally just a white box.
Yeah, the little the cruiser thing on Mars, the Mars rover, has caught bones on Mars. It's shown like things that look like doorways, roads, broken roads, of course. But like,
oh my God, we should watch the Bill Cooper lecture from. Oh God, I'll find it. We should watch that.
Yeah,
it's worth. He shows all the pictures of the fucking dark side of the moon, and there's cities on Mars. Or sorry, there's cities on the moon.
I know that. It's the alien space stations.
Today. I am so curious if you guys feel this way. Do you guys think that this was a major win? What do you make of the fact that here is a guy telling people inside of Congress, yes, there are 4 species of aliens, and they're out there and they were recovered from the Roswell crash, or whatever the actual crash.
Yeah, but do we know anything other than that? Like more than that? We already know this shit. We've known this shit since the X-Files.
It's gonna all be hyper classified because we use the technology, and they don't want us knowing certain things.
Pussies.
It's alien tech. So they have to admit that they've been lying to us since Roswell. And that's pretty rough.
Yeah, man. Yeah, now the games look like body cams. That's rough. The news about the first plane and the second came in. We'll never forget. Oh, 9/11. Yeah, not a good day. Ugh.
Also, but it's Roswell. Big stuff, right? Will he testify in this next hearing that they said is going to happen? What do you think? Put your thoughts in there. I got to know what you think. But I'm going to need some Via after this. I'm going to tell you about Via. You're going to listen. You're going to get some to help out the channel. And then we'll be back here tomorrow and talk about more. But I got to hear the comments. I got to see what you guys are writing here. Make sure, let's get into it. Let's have a conversation. How big of a deal is this, if any? Let me hear you. I get very excited every time I get a chance to talk about Via. Man, I love Via. 420.
No, these are THC pills.
That's great.
It's right around the corner. There's no better time to elevate your...
420's around the corner? This was 2 days ago. What do you mean 420's around? Dude, you got to update your commercial.
On this routine, whether you want to relax.
That's the end of it.
Okay.
So, now it's confirmed. 4 species of aliens.
I am going to go and it'll take me a little bit to get it, but I'm going to get you a link.
Okay.
And I'll pop it in there and watch it when you want. If you don't want to watch it today, that's fine. I just want you to have the link.
What? Oh my God, what did he do?
Ashton?
Bill.
Oh.
Bill Murray.
He's a fucking drunk.
The sound of colliding black holes.
Have you ever heard the sound of 2 black holes crashing into each other? This is what it sounds like.
Whoop.
It's a whale. No, that's a Wookiee.
It's a Wookiee whoop.
No,
whoop.
A Bigfoot whoop.
Whoop. Whoop. Whoop. Whoop. Whoop. Whoop. Whoop.
That's the sound of 2 colliding black holes. Okay.
Right? Not UFOs, not aliens. The mask is lying. They're not aliens, never was. What?
Yeah.
The mask in which it interacts with us always changes, but the phenomenon remains the same. And by doing that, we're able to track it.
There's a reason why they give us the illusion of power. And it's that...
This is from UAMN, by the way, this video. UAMN TV. And the name of this is... The UAP lie, they're not aliens and never were. Dark Side of Ufology Part 1. They put this out a day ago, folks. It does sound like a Bigfoot whoop. Whoop! Whoop! Exactly. At the beginning of this live stream, on the Be Right Back, I showed you how a black hole sounded. Now, 2 colliding. This is what it's like when worlds collide. And I'm fucking with you, and you're fucking with me, and you're fucking with your hand off.
Power Man 5000.
Exactly.
That's Rob Zombie's cousin.
What's going on here? I love Power Man 5000. And a power control.
Mask in which it interacts with us always changes, but the phenomenon remains the same. And by doing that, we're able to track it.
There's a reason why they give us the illusion of power. And it's that illusion of control that a lot of people buy into, not realizing that in many cases they're not the predator, they're the prey.
There was no love and light with regards to...
Our government is... We're the prey of the government?
My experiences, not once. It was more of a fear, and when you were entrapped in that fear, you were part of that fear.
Anything that will take a child, a man, a woman out of its safe environment, under the hours of darkness, under this umbrella of secrecy, is not doing it for the good of those people.
I think that we're, all us UFO investigators, abductees, contactees, all of them, I think we're like a bunch of dogs chasing a bus. One of these days that bus is going to stop, and you're not going to like what gets off that bus.
Jesus. You know, there are a lot of negativity when people are contactees, you know. I mean, a lot of people like to joke about the anal probing, but the pain that happens, the fear that these things cause, you know, causing someone to be in a state of paralysis without their consent, in my opinion, is evil. I honestly don't care if these things want to experiment on us. It still goes without consent. I'm sure there would be willing participants who would be willing to be experimented on aliens. There's plenty of people who would. So why don't we just start consenting to being experimented on aliens? We should start that movement. Aliens, no means no.
We have this spaceman ideology now, this hypothesis that they are from outer space, when this force is perhaps doing this. What's it going to be next?
Demons.
The true phenomena goes back into our prehistory, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands of years. There's always been that interaction with humanity through our development.
Exactly. Like I said.
For the better and sometimes for the worse. What we're seeing today more than ever is this deceptive nature that has crept in. And a lot...
Yeah, sleep paralysis is very, very scary. I remember one time I was in sleep paralysis, and my room was dark. And there was no one around, and I look, because I could move my eyes, I looked at the side of my bed, and what stared back at me, I thought it was a ghost, but... Okay. Sorry. Okay. Stop sneezing, Shannon. Sorry. I'm having a little allergy problems. And what it looked like a gray alien face, and it screamed in my face, and then it disappeared.
Fuck that.
That was so scary.
That's horrible.
But I can the face. It looked like a gray. Its mouth opened so wide, though.
That's crazy.
It was horrifying.
That's pretty nuts, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Hashtag Alien Consent Movement 2025. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Should be consenting.
What of the technology...
There are plenty of weirdos who would consent to be experimented on.
Tons of people.
Go to any fucking sci-fi convention. You'll find, like, I think 4 out of 10 people who would say, yeah, I'll do it.
I think that's right, yeah.
Which is man-made, being portrayed as being something else.
If we go back to the 1970s, 80s, 90s, it was all generally accepted that we were dealing with aliens. And my argument has always been, well, where are they? Where are they hanging out? And the other thing that is really very strange, and I think all ufologists and researchers clocked this, was when the news media started to report UAPs. And that changed from unidentified flying object to...
When that happened, I was like, man, I wish my dad was alive to see this. Because this is something he wanted his whole life. Is disclosure. And they kind of just did a quiet disclosure to us, I guess, so we wouldn't panic as much. Not that I would see panicking, because people are very blasé about it.
To unidentified aerial phenomena. And that was very strange. And I think that the system that we serve, or at least the higher establishments, could well be aware of what we're really dealing with. And now we have a programmed public that they're going to say, hang on a minute, we don't know now how to explain to the public what this phenomena is, because if they really knew the truth of this, it would just go AWOL.
The use of...
I don't care. I want to know. How do you know it'll go AWOL? How do you know how society's going to react to this truth? Like, how do you know they're all going to panic and woe is me, and all society's going to fall apart? You know, to me, that's government not having faith in their own people, and we pay their asses. Every week, every month, we pay their asses. And they think that we're gonna change our behavior automatically for knowing a truth? I call bullshit on that, on the governments. I call bullshit.
They want us to think that these things are from, like, Alpha Centauri. Or the Pleiades, or it's that shit. I don't believe that.
I think
they're from here.
I think they're interdimensional beings, more likely.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
It's a vast variety of shit, I think. It's everything.
Yeah. True.
Good angels, bad angels, extra biological entities, all of that.
The language is very, very descriptive and deceptive in its own right. You know, you've got these people a year ago, 2 years ago, who were coming across in their fighter jets, seeing these UAPs. Now, what exactly was a UAP? I'm no scientist, but I know a damn balloon when I see one. So why...
Correct.
Right.
I love his accent. I know a damn balloon when I see one.
Nah, yeah, what I seen, impossible that it's balloons.
No.
It's impossible.
No,
the way they moved.
And they know people aren't that stupid.
Why are we not calling it a balloon? Instead, the language was altered to UAP. That is insidious.
It's rather like a huge jigsaw puzzle. And we were trying to put all the pieces together to form some of the picture. This thing keeps muddying it. But we're trying to put a picture together. And do you know what? I think we're winning very slowly, as smart as it is, as clever as it is.
I think we're winning on the information war, too. Because there's way too many witnesses at this point.
Well, I mean, you got the government admitting it's real.
Yeah.
We're definitely winning.
We are slowly forming some kind of weak image. And I think with new people on the block, new kids on the block, it can only get stronger.
I do too. Like, the millennials, we want this. We want to know.
Yeah.
We've been waiting our whole life to know this shit. Our whole lives. And it's all coming out now, and it's great. I love this information.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it's not like conspiracy theory anymore. You know, most things that are called conspiracy end up being true at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's just stuff they don't want to talk
10
about.
years ago, we used to come out and talk about people geoengineering the earth, and no one believed us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not happening. Now it's like, yeah, it's true.
Oh, chemtrails, it's a fucking conspiracy theory. It's not real. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
They've been doing weather modification since like the 60s.
Exactly.
Maybe before that.
And I've been monitoring it since, I think, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a significant difference in our weather and the fluctuations within our weather.
Huge.
Yeah, it's a huge change. It's cold, it's hot, it's cold, it's hot. You know, there's not a climate anymore. It's more like anything goes.
Pretty much. Yeah.
The thinking nowadays, especially within ufology and even evangelicalism, is it's so binary. It's either or. And unfortunately, the phenomenon we're dealing with, it's much larger.
Yeah,
and anybody with the cursory knowledge of this entire...
Listen, evangelicists, they just have a part of the picture. They don't have the whole picture.
No.
But they act like they have the whole picture.
Yeah.
And it's like, bros, you gotta open your mind up a little bit. You know, I love Jesus too, but I'm certainly not gonna ignore reality because, you know, Jesus came here 2,000 years, died on the cross, and resurrected. Okay? Even Jesus would be like, yeah, this is truth at this point. Because it's like...
He talked about other worlds.
Yes.
So,
He
it's
did.
not anti-religion in any way, or anti-Christianity to believe that aliens exist.
No.
If they exist, they're under the blood of Christ, just like everything else.
That's why Jesus told you to preach the gospel to every living creature.
Mm-hmm. He didn't say humans, he said every creature.
Creature. That includes aliens.
Yeah, a reptilian can be saved. I believe that.
There you go.
Greys, I don't know if they have souls, because a lot of they seem synthetic.
I'd still preach.
It's a creature, so yeah.
What? You preach to the freaking AI?
Yeah, and accepted it. That's insane.
Right?
There's one of the communications that I had that you
I know,
I'm going to get it out now.
Yeah.
Just one of them. Just one, because it's so profound.
I know. I've seen it. You've showed me it.
knows. It's eclipsing all of those models. It's pushing us into corners where we are forced to think outside of the intellectual coffin we've been boxed in. But let me suggest this, that in believing in the mask, we empower the intelligence.
Hi, Sweaty Patrol. Oh.
That shit. Whatever. Don't care. No.
Update.
That's wearing it.
Don't tell me they just started seeing UFOs last week because the Navy allowed them to report it. They've been seeing this stuff forever.
My grandpa talked about lights in the ocean that he used to see all the time.
Right.
So.
Will entail huge psychological and emotional issues and problems if you were to tell the public, look, we've lied to you about UFOs. We've pushed forward this narrative that they're coming from another...
I think they've basically said that, like Congress pretty much come out and said, yeah, we've been lied to.
Right.
And Congress, our modern Congress doesn't even appreciate this shit because they want to know.
I mean, right in front of him, Bill Cooper, when he was in the Navy, he said he saw, I think it was a rod, one of the rod-shaped ones, cut right out of the water in front of his eyes.
There you go.
And then they debriefed him on it and said, you never speak anything of this, it never happened. Do you understand? And that was it. That was it. That's it.
The planet, that it's all love and light, but the reality is very, very different. And this will also, and I do understand with those people who have their religious infrastructures or their religious ideologies that will be questionable at that stage. And I think and feel that, you know, we have been right. I feel that we're right. I really do, because through my own personal experience, tells me that we're not dealing with Venetians or Martians or those from Zeta Reticuli. No, we're dealing with a force that is very clever and knows us more than we know ourselves. I am going to begin with an experience that I was shamed to have had back in the winter of 1989, something that had affected me quite severely, especially where the media cartel were concerned, because within that period, within that time, and within ufology, there was a pattern that you had to follow, i.e. a certain being, we call them the Greys, a UFO, and certain things had to happen to you for it to qualify as an event. This didn't quite happen for me, and I'll explain the process of what occurred back in 1989, along with some other areas of high strangeness that I've been involved in, and may indicate to us on certain levels that we're dealing with more than just spacemen from another planet.
I love how he said high strangeness. Where does that come from?
George Norrie, he coined that.
Yep.
That's his word.
Yep. George Norrie fan.
Yep.
Or aliens from Zeta Reticuli. So, in the winter of 1989, and bearing this period of time, I did not write down the date or the time. Someone came forward and told me I need...
Ugh.
You know that George Norrie is a believer.
That's how they look? Ew.
Really rough. Ooh.
Ew.
They're gonna scare the fuck out of you.
Would you fuck that?
That's a no. Nah.
Ladies? No.
That's a no for me.
That's a no for me too. They're ugly.
Need dates, any times like that would help them solve the riddle. I was not really enamored with UFOs, although I believed in them, and I always believed that alien contact would happen, if it did ever happen, not that I was wanting it to happen, on a benign level, as opposed to a malice level. I've had people telling me what they are, where they come from, why they're here, and I say to them, good luck to you, you've got it all worked out, because I still haven't. So I came home from work in the winter of 1989, from Bedford Station to Millbrook, and I walked the mile or so back to the house, and we lived in a cul-de-sac, a beautiful little cul-de-sac in a big house.
We lived in a cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac.
A cul-de-sac. I love how they speak.
I know British people rock.
They look like demon felines.
Yeah, true. Like reptilian felines. Christ.
Oh no. I wonder who it could be.
I'm almost afraid. How you doing? What's up? Oh, it's this. Thank you, brother.
Do you know where you ordered from?
Walgreens? Walgreens? It was Walgreens, right, hon?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We went to Walgreens straight.
I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
I wanted to let you know.
Thank you for that.
Thank
you. All right, thank you.
That sucks.
Shit.
I didn't know that.
We gotta get the more local Walgreens.
I know, right?
No, CVS. You gotta get CVS.
Yeah. I should have done CVS. I did Walgreens.
Benadryl.
Yes.
And pain reliever, okay?
Yeah. Gavin, this is not cat food.
You had foods.
Gavin's. You're
Gavin.
addicted to your foods.
You need food?
Again? Well, it's almost 6.
Okay.
Go get your food, boy.
Gavin, you need a diet, boy. Gavin, you eat so much wet food.
Look like Sleepwalkers, cat people in that movie. Oh, Sleepwalkers is a great movie.
That is a great, crazy movie.
I'd like to watch that movie again.
That's a great, yeah, definitely.
Right?
Kiefer. Anything with Kiefer.
You just need to stop fucking... Just stop it.
Who?
Just another person trying to make me feel insecure, because they probably are insecure about themselves, so they have to make themselves feel better. Right?
Within our property, we had a driveway, and when you walked into the house, most of it was all glass to the front, frosted glass, doors, windows. Walked through the hall. There's a reason why I'm stating this, is that there was a kitchen directly in the kitchen diner to my left, and to my right was what my brother and I had as our...
Moonface, I have no idea why you were timed out yesterday. I didn't know you were. I wouldn't have done that to you. It may have been by accident. I'm not sure.
Bedroom and study area and downstairs bathroom. So I walked into the house as normal. It was dark, roughly about 7:15 at night. I walked into the kitchen area, left the kitchen door open, so I had full access and range to the hallway and through to the opening to the door that I just come through. And our dog Benji was there, sitting in front of the breakfast bar, and my brother was standing in front of me, directly in front of me, into the dining area, so he didn't have a full view of the hall where I was just leaning back. And my sister, the only 3 of us in the room, apart from the dog as well, was to my far left. There came this feeling, very strange feeling of an electrical disturbance. And like when the hairs on your arms and the back of your neck come up, it was very weird, and the dog started to react to this change in atmospheric conditions. And my brother in front of me did something very strange. I'll never forget it. He froze, and then he lifted his head to the ceiling, and his exact words were, "There's going to be an earthquake or grandma's going to die." That's what he said as he remained frozen in this state. And the dog started to go even more mad, and I thought, well, there's no earthquake, and our maternal grandmother at that point was still very much alive. And immediately, upon this happening, there came this light through the frosted glass doors to the hall area. So it looked, I thought, first of all, that our mother was coming back from work early and was driving up the driveway. But the light intensified. The white light got brighter. And incredibly, the door, the glass door to the house, the opening, started to bend backwards and forwards as though...
Oh my god, it's like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The scene where the mother from A Christmas Story is in her house with her son, and like everything like causes like chaos with the UFOs, and they take her son. It reminds me of that.
It was becoming pliable. This all happened in a matter of seconds, and this small being came through the glass of the door where this light was. And it was...
What's up, Bud Dicker? How you doing, dude?
It was about 3 foot tall, clad entirely in black. It was diminutive in size, and it had what I thought, first of all, was a large motorcycle helmet on its head. And as it came through the door very quickly, the door returned to normal, the light disappeared, and it ran straight forward.
What the hell? It's like a portal from his door, but it bended it. It bended it. Bend in time and space. Oh, I get it now. They can bend time and space.
To the...
That's what he saw.
Downstairs bathroom or the study and bedroom. Well, at that point, my brother snapped out of his trance, and I was so shocked by what I'd seen, I couldn't explain it. And this being, whatever it was, ran then from the corner left across the hall and up the stairs and disappeared. And I shouted, "There's an intruder in the house." And I think I screamed, "There's an intruder in the house." And I reached behind me to grab a knife from the drawer. My brother, who had come out of his so-called trance, if it was a trance, immediately reacted, and my sister. And we searched the house, and there was nothing. And I remembered I broke down because I couldn't understand what on earth had occurred. The true horror of what was about to occur did indeed happen in the early hours of that morning, because I found myself floating then in the hall of where this being had originally come through in the light.
God, I hate fibro itch. I'm sorry. If I'm itching a lot, I have fibro itch because it's raining out. And it's driving me nuts. Like, everything's like all tingly and stuff, and itchy feeling, and that's why I needed the Benadryl to calm that shit down.
Floating on my back, and with my head facing the kitchen glass doors. And as I awoke, I thought, well, you know, am I dreaming? And I thought, no, I'm not dreaming. I'm actually on my back. And I started to be being pulled through the glass to the kitchen door. So something had a hold of me and was pulling me. And there was nothing I could do to prevent this from happening. And then...
What he explained sounded just like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. When they took Barry, the aliens.
Oh, yeah, pulled him out.
Yeah, it sounds just like it. Like, his house all lit up, and he actually saw his door bend and then come back.
That's fucking...
They literally are they're bending time and space.
That's insane.
It's crazy. It's nuts.
This feeling, this sensation carried on through to the kitchen, through to the conservatory, and then I was pulled out into the garden. I knew that I was in control of my thoughts, but I was not in control of my actions. At that point, when I was outside, I was arched around, still 3 feet off the floor. As incredible and strange as this may seem, please bear with me. And I could see all these lights in the sky. They were moving very quickly, and I thought, well, they're real. The UFOs are real. They're there. What's the big problem? And there was one of these crafts that was stationary. It was a kind of like a disc-shaped object, rusty, metallic in color. And as soon as I made eye contact with it, I felt the feeling like when you're on a roller coaster, and I was pulled up to the object, and that was it. I blanked out. There are 2 more parts to this, and I'll get to the next part, the disturbing part. So I woke up, and I found myself in a dingy room. It looked like a medical facility of some sort. It was hot, and to my
hot. If it was an actual medical facility, it wouldn't be hot. It would be cold. So it's definitely not one of ours, because we keep our medical facilities ice cold so bacteria doesn't grow.
Right.
If you ever wondered why a hospital's so cold, that's why.
left, there was some light, as though there was another corridor or something. But I was strapped to a bed, and the media had such a circus with this. You know, the way that they try and degrade you is incredible. But I was naked and strapped to this bed, and I didn't know where I was. I was disorientated.
Ah, fuck that.
That sounds so horrifying. Like, I've been kidnapped. What the fuck are these things around me? Am I ever gonna get back home? Is this pain ever gonna stop? What the fuck is going on? Am I gonna be enslaved? Am I gonna be cut up? Am I gonna be killed? Am I gonna be eaten? Like, imagine the thoughts that would go by in your head if you were kidnapped by aliens.
And I thought, well, I just, the only thing I recall is coming up to this object, and then I blanked out. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then to my immediate right, the horror of me seeing these three beings that were clad in this kind of thick mist that were just, seemed to be assessing me, looking at me. And there was no empathy from them, no love. I was just a piece of meat on a slab to them. And seeing them was truly horrific. I've never experienced that kind of emotional exchange where it was absolutely awful.
Sounds like the guy from Fire from the Sky. Same scenario. Horrified. Have you ever seen Fire from the Sky? That movie scared me so bad when I was a kid. I remember my dad was watching it like maybe like 2-3 p.m. And we were living. I remember we were living at Connecticut at the time, and we were in our condo. And all I can remember is just being scared the rest of the day because of watching this movie. It was so scary to me as a kid. I was like 6, 7, something like that.
And then even more horrifying when I found that there was some kind of foreign implement which had been inserted into the lower part of my anatomy. And it felt within my midsection as though this was organic.
Dude got probed. Ooh. It is Travis Walton's story. Yes, Maya. Ooh. I don't ever want to go through this ever. Like, Jason has a UFO experience, too. He spoke about this before. Fire in the Sky happened 25 minutes from where I live in Arizona. Oh my god, scary.
Travis Walton.
Horizon was scary, too. Yeah. Event Horizon?
That's a crazy movie, man. That's a crazy movie. I love it.
Right? What? Okay, you want to talk?
Yeah, I'll say it really quick. I'll just tell the story. I was at my buddy Brian's house. I think it was 2005. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I had a shit flip phone. That's all I had. So I couldn't get it. Fuck. That pisses me off that I couldn't film this. But I was outside having a cigarette, and he's got a house that's kind of up on a hill.
That's not what I'm talking about. Your first contact experience with the footprints on the floor?
Oh, that. Yeah, that was really creepy. But the one time, it was after my mom passed away, and I was living alone. And I was in my bedroom, and I felt basically like sleep paralysis. And I felt like my body had levitated and gone out the window, but I closed my eyes, and I was just saying, Jesus, please stop it, stop, please, Jesus. And I went, whoop, right back to the bed. But I woke up, and I was fucking freaked. And when I looked at the floor, I saw these little wet footprints that went from basically the window to the side of my fucking
bed.
Futon.
Yeah.
The same futon you were sleeping on.
Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah. I don't know. And also I had on my arm up here, I think it was, like 1, 2, 3.
You had the triangle mark.
The triangle mark.
Yeah.
And it was sore, actually.
Is that when they stick you? Do they stick you with something?
I have no idea. I'm thinking I probably was abducted and they did whatever. I don't know. But I prayed to Jesus and I got back in the bed. So maybe they did take me, but
have you ever thought about being hypnotized?
Yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah?
I would definitely do that. I don't think I'm capable of being hypnotized.
Never say never.
Maybe I could. I don't know. I don't think so, though.
I've been hypnotized several times. Oh, to the people who never took dialectic behavior therapy, that's actually part of dialectic behavior therapy, is going under hypnosis several times to relax you.
Yeah.
There you go.
And at that point, I lost it. I started to scream and wanted them to take this out of me.
Yeah?
I could draw a quick picture of that. It's worth it. I mean,
were they triangles?
No. They were orbs with something in the center of the orb. I couldn't tell the color. It was either red or black. I don't know. But they moved in the sky like a train. But no friction, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They moved like they were walking in the sky in perfect unison. These orbs. And it was so close to me. Like, it was literally, I'd say, no more than 100 feet away from me.
Wow. Did your friends see it too?
No, I was alone. I was outside they were playing fucking, I don't know, Silent Hill 2.
That sucks.
Whatever, they were playing something. And I just wanted a cigarette, and we didn't smoke in his house. Of course, it was his parents' house. So I went outside, and I felt like I could touch him, and I was literally like, holy shit.
Did you tell them what you just saw when you got back in?
Yeah, but I mean...
They didn't believe you.
I probably not.
Oh, it's just Jason being Jason.
Or it's just it's just balloons. It's just probably balloons.
Whatever it was. And this is the thing as well with regards to this. People think, oh, you want sympathy. No, you don't understand. You know, here I am, someone that's...
It's not about sympathy. He's trying to warn you about these things.
I hope I'm not chipped. That would suck.
I have this, like, loose thing in my upper jaw, and it feels like one of those chips.
Like an implant?
Uh-huh.
Maybe. That ain't the mark of the beast, because you have to choose to take that.
Yeah.
These things have been put in us forcibly. Dr. Lear did a bunch of research on this shit with L.A. Marzulli.
You talked to Dr. Lear, right?
No, I wish I could have.
Okay.
But I had L.A. Marzulli on my show like 4 times, so that's just as good as having Dr. Lear on.
Yeah,
They were
exactly.
talking all the time.
Get a hold of him. L.A. Marzulli.
I've tried on Skype. Busy as fuck.
There you go.
He's always doing something.
What we need to get on this channel is Schneblin.
Fucking Facebook. Go. Talk to Mary.
I don't have that Facebook anymore.
Oh, shit. Well, try and connect with Mary Schneblin again.
Yeah.
She's like his...
Secretary.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Deanne. I lost my twin sister and my husband and both my parents, and I can promise you there's a very thin veil between us and them in heaven.
Wow.
Amen.
You're very correct.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Your twin sister?
I'm very sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I had no idea.
You gotta feel like you've lost, like, 2 of your limbs.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. Oh, my heart's out there for you.
Yeah, loss is fucking horrible.
It really is. I've gone through enough of it. I don't want to go through it again.
Yeah.
I really don't. Ugh.
Creative, as though you have...
I know that's not you know what reality's going to bring in my life, but still.
to have a blank mind. You need to be a blank character in order to have an experience. Someone that's interested in a lot of things is going through this this abduction, as they call it. I was screaming and yelling, and these three things seemed to disappear. Now, I've been told from people what they are, where they come from, even their names in high command. I can't deal with that, I'm sorry. But they were there, and then they disappeared. And then I saw this small grey, cream-coloured grey, coming forward from the area where the light was, and it approached...
The Ponty are the greys.
Cream-coloured.
Yeah, but are there bad and good Ponties?
Just like humans.
Yeah, I guess so.
Probably. There's probably good reptilians.
Oh, they're badasses, I bet. They're like Klingons.
But see, here's the thing. I think it's definitely the thing, because on the crests of Israel, there was a serpent. There was a... Like, there is a serpent being that's not bad.
The Mayan culture and their serpent beings.
They were benevolent.
The Naga were benevolent.
Were they?
Yeah.
They were not.
No.
I didn't know that. The Nagas. Yeah.
Very cold. The straps were released. The object itself was retracted mechanically, I believe. And I just wanted out of there. I wanted to go. And so I followed the small grey through this corridor, and it was all steep.
Yeah, imagine seeing that in reality. That would be scary.
Please don't kill me.
Exactly. I'd do one of these. Like I come in peace, man.
Like, please don't kill me. Can we just talk? Can we have a conversation here? Can you learn a little bit about me before you experiment on my body a little bit?
Oh my god.
I mean,
that's messed.
And I could see some lights above the top. And we came to what I thought was a wall. And the grey was looking at me as if to say, get out. And I thought, well, where am I going? And the wall changed to an opening. And we're coming to the last part now that's even more equally bizarre, but I think quite interesting. So I looked out upon the height of the village. I could see our conservatory below and the house. And it was getting morning, like it was becoming morning. And the grey was like, get out. And I'm like, I became upset, like I don't like heights. But it felt like I was pushed. And there were two other greys, one on my right, one on my left, that kind of, I floated, would you believe that, down to the ground. And when I came to the ground, there was one last grey and this smaller craft that was by the conservatory. Now, this other grey looked different from the others. As I came to the ground and I was suspended, these two greys had gone. I was ordered not to look back. I thought that was strange.
Maya's like, can I get you dinner before you probe me at least?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Right?
The probing deal.
Can we have a cup of coffee?
But see, if Eisenhower made this treaty, they're just going by the treaty. He said, you can do experiments.
Eisenhower's a piece of shit for doing that treaty and allowing the American people to go through this shit.
If it's real, it was one of the worst deals ever made by a president. That's for sure.
Maybe he was scared and manipulated into it.
They may have said, look, you got one or two choices.
You either do it this way or we'll forcefully do it.
We'll take the entire planet.
Yeah.
Because we got the technology. You will have no hope against our weapons.
The one outweighs the many.
I think these beings have plasma weapons.
Yeah.
Which literally we can't fight.
Yeah.
They could just toast an entire military base in minutes.
True.
Seen one on the graph. And there was this 4-foot grey standing in front of me. And it was clad in this one-piece uniform. It had knee-length boots, and it wore this very smart, pointed hat that seemed to be composed of its uniform.
A pointed hat? Like the papacy?
The Pope's Dagon hat.
Yep.
Or KKK.
KKK, yeah, exactly.
And it had a more of a pronounced face, but it had its arms folded like this. And it was looking at me real mad. And I'm kind of like still floating, but as I am now, upright position, I was so angry with it. It's looking at me real mad, and I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach area. I wanted to...
Fucker.
What the hell? That's violent.
I know, right?
Hit him, because I thought I'd been violated. What the hell's happened to me? Why has this occurred to me? And I couldn't get him. I couldn't get to him to hit him. I called him Noddy. Not quite like Enid Blyton's creation of Noddy, but it was all weird to see this thing like plastic being animated in this way, or this whatever it was.
Plastic being
so I thought
animated.
Ask it a question, and it would answer my question, because I knew if it could answer my question, I would know that the reality of this would be revealed. So I said to him, and I think through the mind, because when you're dealing with the mind with them, it's just normal talk, if that makes sense. There's no way of measuring it, it's just there. I said, how the hell am I able to get through solid matter, locked and bolted doors? How is that possible? And I thought if he could tell me, then I would have the answer. And he stopped, and he looked confused, shocked even. And then he started to raise his head above the underneath of his, what I assume was his smaller craft, and then froze, and this electronic voice, it reminded me of the voice synthesizer of the ZX81 that we had years ago, rasping through its mouth. And as it froze, I then found myself crashing through the glass, coming back through the hall, coming through to the bedroom, and then bang, back into my body. And immediately when I woke up, I had a nosebleed, and the very next day, my brother, we found 3 triangular marks behind my right ear. We tried to...
What did Jason just say?
What did I just fucking say?
You had a triangle mark on your shoulder.
I can't remember exactly where on my body it was. It was either shoulder or here. I can't remember. If it was an intimate region, I would have remembered, definitely. But it wasn't.
Take photographs of that with a self-developing Kodak camera. Do you remember them? Yeah. Nothing came out. I had 3 marks on my arm. Profuse nosebleeds to the right nostril, and years later, a foreign implement that was of interest to the doctors within my right ear.
Wow.
I got something similar to that too.
You can look up Dr. I think it's Roger.
Yeah.
Dr. Roger Lear.
Yeah.
He has taken things that they don't know where it came from, literally.
Yep.
Out of people. Like, they're the size of, like, a pin.
Yeah.
At the top. But it's like...
What is the elements in
device.
it again?
They don't know.
They don't know the elements.
It's unknown materials.
Okay.
Foreign materials, period.
I wonder if this guy has had talks with David Icke. I don't like Mr. Icke personally, but I feel like these two would have a lot to talk about.
I love David Icke.
It's possible he talked to David Icke. I mean, David would definitely be interested in this story.
Yeah, he's the type of guy that David would contact to help writing his book.
Yeah.
Like, he writes books constantly. David.
But another researcher, Pierre Sabac, made an interesting connection between that phenomena of what occurred. And people will say to you, well, when you have an abduction, you're physically taken to their presence. I'm not so sure about that, because I think there are 2 composites to us. One is the biological material, and the other is consciousness or the soul. Rather like your phone, you've got the hardware, and you have the signaling, which is the phone, which is the software.
That's right.
So Pierre Sabac found that what the...
Aw, I love you too. Oh. Deanne, you're supportive too. You're awesome. I love you people.
This grey had done when it froze, when I tried to ask it a question about how the hell I was able to be brought through solid matter, walls and doors, that type of thing. And it was shocked. But what he did was that he seemed to be mimicking what my brother had done earlier that late evening, when my brother froze and looked up and said there's going to be an earthquake or grandma's going to die. It was scrambled information. It was weird.
Trying to put this into words has been very difficult for me. Even publishing it, people have been very kind. I think we have to give credit to the internet for actually opening up to the fact that people are talking about this subject. More open.
Yeah.
The other guy's name is Philip.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
It is.
Even though there still is taboo or ridicule connected with it, people will always have answers for it: sleep paralysis, balloons, anything. But when you are in their presence, it is absolutely anything but. Is horrifying, terrifying. In a nutshell, the winter of 1982, we actually lived in Luton, Hazelbury Crescent, and Phil and I shared.
I have no idea where that is.
Britain.
It's so cool that you and Rev stream so often. It's nice being in your chat outside of bozos that come from sniping streams. Or ask you for their favorite commentators. I know, right?
Well, that's why we wanted to do this. Like, it's fun, and it's if you guys are entertained by it, then that's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mutual benefit.
Plus, I love this shit.
Yeah, we got good mods too, yeah.
We do. We got great mods.
Good people.
And that's all I care for, is just good, solid, true people who just want to know the truth.
And have fun, too.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun with it, because it's too fucking heavy.
And dark.
It's extremely bad.
I know.
That you have a situation where, you know, demonic, possibly, beings can just take you out of your house and you can do nothing about it. That's fucking scary.
Because it deals with the government.
Yeah. Genetic. I'm gonna fucking get Michael's book out.
Alright.
A room. They were big because we lived in a Victorian house. It didn't mean to say we were rich, it's just what we had. Very comfortable, nice house. And it was one night I was taken from my bed. Again, this is not sleep paralysis. I was conscious. I had no interest in UFOs. I'd heard of them. I had an open mind. They weren't heavily publicised. Not in that age, not in that time. And if they were mocked or disputed.
Well, the most you got at that time was like Star Trek, Star Wars. This is like early 80s. You have Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You have Doctor Who. Then like Battle Galactica. You know, things like that to like indicate it. But it was like all sci-fi. Dune. There's another one. Dune. Alien. It's just all through movies. That's how we've been exposed to this shit. And then with like minor people coming out and saying they've been abducted throughout the years.
Credited to. So this was absolutely wonderful for the force that abducted me in 1982. I call it abduction. I don't like that word because it seems to make it seem like we're taking every minute of the day. This only happened once to me, and I've never forgotten it. But it's interesting nonetheless, because I was taken up and there was something very dark hanging in the sky. It was dark. Winter. It's just one night I was just taken up to this thing. There was something hanging there, something I could not discern. I'm not going to make it fit. I don't know what it was, but there was something there. I then arrived in it. Remember, this is a kid who loves Doctor Who, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars.
Oh my god, I just said it.
And you're thrust into this absolutely terrible scenario where you've got no idea. It didn't even feel like science fiction to me. I found myself in a wheelchair, a model wheelchair, and I knew there was someone behind me. The boss, that's what I called him. Now, there were three figures ahead of me, and they were uniformed, similar, something like this chap here. It's not accurate, it's very loose and very crude, but it's the best I could do. Some kind of armour. And he spoke to me. The first thing he did, I was horrified, and the first words he used, I will never forget. We are going to perform an operation on you, Ronald. He used my full name. That was shocking. Because
they used his full name. They probably could get it. Shepard the Germans! My fabulous king, how are you? Jesus bless you. How are you? Dude, yesterday, you were on the top hilarious cop moments of all time. Just want to let you know.
I didn't know who he was.
And they called you a legend in it. You, sir, are a legend.
So how did he know who I was? The three men ahead of me, these strange beings, didn't say anything. They just stood there. And behind them I could see an operating table, or what looked like, it's all medical, very medical. This side I remembered was curved. This side I have no memory of. I have no memory of this side, but I knew there was an utensil rack or something there, something medical. I couldn't move. I could turn slightly. I was horrified. I begged with him and pleaded. I don't want this operation.
Church was amazing? That's cool, man. What you learned today?
I couldn't believe it. You know, just immediately thrust into the situation. I could perform an operation. And for some reason, I kept thinking it was something to do with the head, neurological. He didn't explain. I can't remember exactly the narrative afterwards, but I begged and pleaded with him not to have this operation. He was not having it. His voice was middle-aged. He was well-spoken. That's even more shocking. and he seemed to know me very well. And apart from objecting, I could only just sit there. And what he did then, he plucked up a device from the utensil rack, and he showed it to me, and it looks similar to that. Basically a rod with a nodule on it. According to the chief doctor, plucked an instrument up from the utensil rack, and he nestled it, or pushed it, applied it onto the top of my left hand.
Did it hurt?
I went out like a light. The next thing was even worse. I don't remember anything that happened after that. They'd obviously done what they said they were going to do, and I have no idea what it was. But I was dropped from this thing, and I went through the sky and back through the loft onto my bed.
What did I fucking describe to you?
Exactly. It's exactly what you just described.
Identical. It's identical. He had the same...
How did they choose the
Genetics.
people? Genetics?
I think so. I think so.
Can I drop the chat in the link? In the chat? My favorite was Cinnamon Toast Ken and Dana reacting to my body cam. He did, dude!
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, we've been on Ken and Dane.
Yeah, twice.
Yep. That was awesome with you.
I responded, yeah, and he did it. I'm so fucking honored that he fucking responded to my response. That was so good. I messed up, folks. And it's my first real YouTube beef. That was so good.
It was. It was
I gotta
great.
get back on Ken's ass again.
You do.
I do. Don't you treat women that are heavy bad, Ken. I'm coming for you.
I'm beautiful.
That's right.
Put me very gently like that. As I was falling, I could distinctly feel a rigorous static energy pulsating through. There was no sound. It's a...
Did you feel that?
I think you just kicked a memory into me.
Did you feel that?
I think when I first woke up, I felt that.
A static
buzz.
energy pulsating through.
A buzz.
That's how fibromyalgia feels constantly. Is static energy pulsating through you.
Whoa, that's horrible.
Oh, you saw the videos he made of reacting to us. Oh, that's awesome.
That was so good.
That's awesome, dude.
That was so good.
I know.
Do you know my response video that he did? It got like, we gotta look, I think it got like, at the end, 514,000 views, something like that.
Nice.
It's one of the bigger ones, because Big Ed was starting to not get that many views. People are sick of Big Ed. So he's like, oh, well, this guy might get me some views. He did, I did, apparently.
There you go.
Call me, Ken.
As if every hair on my body was standing on end. And I landed on the bed.
It's definitely how my hands feel right now. There's electricity going through it.
I'm sorry.
It's raining out.
Palpatine.
It's raining out. My fibro's gonna kick up.
Ultimate power.
And to make matters even worse, and to soil, completely confuse this terrifying encounter, an apparition appeared upon the ceiling above me. And it was, I gather, a goodbye gift from the doctors. Now, being 13 years old, I could not work out what this was. It was the huge head of a Cheshire cat, their version. And yes, I had seen Alice in Wonderland prior to this. I didn't like it much.
A Cheshire cat? Jesus. That's crazy.
It's really weird.
That's crazy. God, phone, shut up.
But I watched it with my grandparents under protest. But it was the Cheshire cat. This is a loose description of him. He was electric blue, he shimmered like water, and he was above me. And he was grinning down, this monstrosity that ironically put the doctors to shame. I stared.
What? Will do.
Please.
1 minute.
God, did you take your Benadryl?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
At him, I was horrified, and then, like the orb that went, he disappeared. He vanished, and that was it. Nothing more. I didn't see them again. But another nightmare occurred after this, because what it did, this encounter, it forced...
Shanny's like a mild fan.
I was sick of Big Ed after the first time I saw him. I think Big Ed makes me laugh in his
He is
antics.
funny. He is funny. When he dressed up in the luchador outfit.
That was great.
And he was dancing. That was great.
Big Ed, he's got a good sense of humor.
Is
he a nice guy?
Better. He needs to treat women better.
No. He's a cheating motherfucker.
And date his own age.
Shepherds of German said this morning at church taught me that there will always be those who try and drag you down, or try and keep you from becoming a better version of yourself no matter what because of jealousy. Amen, Germans.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. I love when church has a good message like that.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah, not tithing constantly.
Oh my God. Kenneth Copeland. Cleflo Dollar.
Big Ed really needs to go see a chiropractor.
Oh my God. Yeah, probably.
Hell, I wouldn't mind a chiropractor. Crack me, baby.
He just needs to learn how to treat women.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Me to prop books up against the door, even though they're ironically taking me through the ceiling. We even had an old guitar and buttoned that up to the door, so they will make a clatter. They screwed me up well and truly. I wanted that light left on. And this hasn't ended. From that moment, I had to have a light on. People will say you're a wimp. No, it was so horrifying. Disgraceful. How dare they do this to me? And this got me thinking about this encounter. When I became brave enough, in 2012, I wrote a book called Twin Souls. It was published by Capital Ban, illustrating the encounter which occurred. And I don't think even then I could work out the cat and this thing. There was a dog as well, a grinning dog.
Ugh, an evil frickin' red-eyed dog. Ugh.
That's fucking nuts.
Your mother was a jackal.
Oh. Yeah.
He used to sit afterwards in the room for a few nights after this. I don't know his residue, I don't know what it is. But he was there, just to add to this nightmare. And he, like the cat, vanished eventually. You see, when you look back at it, the doctors, the cat and the dog appeared to be separate. And I guess that was what the object of their game was. Again, insurance policy. If you tell a psychologist, they would merely say that you've seen Alice in Wonderland. You get confused. It's your imagination. Imagination.
The alien functions like an intelligence agency. When we needed a cover story for something, a lie.
You'd look good in a hat like that.
I want to get the dude hat again. I love the way those Australian it's Australian style. It comes from Australia. That style of hat I love. It's so great.
I want a pink leopard hat like that.
Nice.
We just told it. We tell the best one that, what you needed to hear. And it made us really look good. And the fact is, if that didn't work, we just tell another one. And another one. Look, anytime as a former police officer, I see a body laying on the floor with a knife sticking out of it, and there's 8 witnesses there, and I ask you who did it, what happened, and all of you give me a different story, you're all going downtown. Every one of you.
That's right. But with people who have these experiences, oh no, you're a liar. What? But we're experiencing the same thing.
I literally proved. I haven't seen this.
No.
I haven't heard these guys' stories. I have the same story. And I proved it because I said it before they said it. There's something to it.
Yep.
They are, if you want to say it, it's the Eisenhower Treaty.
It is.
They allow these beings to do this to us.
It's bullshit.
For the exchange of technology. That's what it's alleged.
Oh, it's not for us, huh?
They gave us chip technology and all this shit then. And then they developed it over the years, and now you got Intel Pentium processor, right? And now you have the Willow supercomputer. And it's going to take over fucking government and everything.
There you go.
Oh
Why is that significant? That metaphor carries over to the UFO world. Every country I go to, Ireland, doesn't make a bit of difference. The little wee fairy folk, well, if you don't do right, they may not bring you back. You know, it doesn't matter where you go. I go to Istanbul, Turkey, and I'm on the airplane talking to guys saying, that's fascinating stuff, but we don't have stuff like that here. I said, yes, you do. No, we don't. Yes, you do. No, we don't. I said, what about the jinn? We don't talk about them. You've got 8 different stories told to 8 different nations. We still got the body on the floor, and now I'm getting 8 different stories. Why do I think somebody's lying to me?
So from my perspective, we always had this connection, and again, I was seeing this cross-migration of details from one particular phenomena into another field. And then I was finding it in another field, and then another field. So again, looking at this umbrella term and this umbrella situation, I was able to see, wait a minute, and create this hypothesis.
Hello, Sydney. How are you?
Which others have arrived at as well, in seeing this is coming from the same source. So from that particular perspective, I wanted to accelerate further and see, right, let's follow the line, let's follow the data. What is there in history that is giving us some suggestions here of what to follow? And I started tracking that line, and
nope. I'm locking the door.
Yeah, lock the door.
I'm locking the door. Probably for the kids next door, I don't care. I don't need that.
No.
Fuck me.
No, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Alright, back to the show. Sorry about that.
to the point where I believe we may have identified the source. I think there's great value in analyzing an encounter that someone may have with whatever appearance that it should take. Its valuation becomes exceptionally important within the first 20 seconds. And that is a rule that I've set out. I said the 20-second rule, that is exceptionally important to understand. Within those 20 seconds, we are given the information as to what the nature of this phenomena is. And if we refuse to see that, if we refuse to acknowledge that, hear it, or feel it, then we're lost to it. So, and what tends to happen is that this phenomenon, when it appears, it will appear as a bright light. It will use whatever is necessary to capture that conscious connection.
Even the devil can appear as a bright light. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
True.
What's going on, Matthew?
That's why you need discernment. You could be talking to a thing that looks like literally Jesus, and it's not.
Ooh.
You got to know the spirit. The Sananda spirit.
Yeah.
Okay, that Alice Bailey said she was besties with, you know? She was a Luciferian.
There you go.
You got to know what you're talking to.
The moment that is hooked, we've lost the battle.
With the help of many other people, beyond what we've been sold, what we've been told, the last experience was 9th of April 2016 at precisely 11:15 p.m. at night. After that, there was no more. Through the acknowledgement of what we may be dealing with, it's as if, like, I do joke and say perhaps me and my twin brother were to them washed out old has-beens, or that an acknowledgement...
Oh, they are twins. You were right.
I mean, I didn't think I was delusional.
Okay, they are twins.
Because one was Philip and one is Ronald.
They took twins.
It's their genes. We need to read Michael Tessarian's book to people.
Yeah.
It's all about genetics.
Interested.
Yeah. I think it's compatibility.
Oh, yeah. Here. Which one do you want to give out?
What do you mean?
Email.
Oh, you do Jason Eagroff 2020. That's usually the one I give out. Whoa, that's it.
Here's the email, dude.
That's me. And Shanny too, I guess. Yeah.
There you go.
Acknowledgement that we've kind of clocked what's going on, and it's like, well, we need to, the game's over. We need to remove ourselves away from them because we need to attach to someone else. But certainly, I felt beforehand that, you know, wow, I'm connected with aliens from another planet. They're interested in me, and it's like this dimension of opening of other areas of the psyche, of consciousness of life after death was really prevalent and something that still pushes me. But perhaps the phenomena was feeding off of that as well. I think it is very, very deceptive. This force is not only universal, but hide itself behind is infinite, I believe. It's very infinite. And I, myself, how I reached that own conclusion was through, perhaps in the past, looking at the greys themselves. And the people telling me when I drew them or illustrated them, they said, that's not how they looked. Oh, so they differ again and again and again, so we have different shapes, different sizes. And not just that, but the fairies. A ufologist told me that his mother met a fairy once, and she gave her this bottle of elixir. She told her to drink it. And if she drank this bottle of liquid, she'd never get ill. She drank it, she never got ill. That's not a fairy. But in the past, people would have believed it. I would have believed it when I was younger. Yeah. Because my grandma talked about...
What the fuck? Fairies? I'd love to meet a fairy. I am a fairy.
Tinkerbell.
Fairies, and I think she was covering it for something else. These, our ancestors, are much wiser than we give them credit, I think.
Now let's look at the abduction phenomena. What happens is that people find themselves being taken through solid matter. I've had people telling me that they have Star Trek technology and they beam you up. Well, my brother quite rightly said if they could do that, why don't they just blank you out through the whole experience? Why do you have to be awake during that procedure? So with the abduction phenomena, these beings, these elusive greys as we know them to be,
I don't know what you're talking about, shepherds.
Are able to extract the real essence of what we are and bring them into their domain. There is a sense of timelessness, of spacelessness. Communication is done through telepathy. And it could be possible that because you can't recall or...
Oh my God, that's amazing. You should think chings and then you do that.
May the 4th be with you, Wookiee.
That's a gorgeous thing.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
The proportion of people can't recall their experiences is because the individual consciousness or the soul has been removed by its normal processing of the recording that facilitates the biological form. It's a theory. And I thought, well, why would the greys be interested in reproduction? What is it that they are after?
Genetic manipulation and making hybrids.
Why are they so elusive? What do they want from us? For a species that themselves cannot replicate, cannot reproduce, that seem like a blank canvas. They're interested in what we represent, what we are, the way we tick, the way we love one another, or in a majority of cases at least. We sense, we smell, memories, beautiful things that make us what we are. And that is something I was looking for.
Zup, normal fruit, how you doing?
Not just those that have crossed over and died, and a system that told us categorically that there is no such thing as life after death. That UFOs do not exist. It's a lie. We've been lied to.
systematically, continuously. And I think that the system that we serve knows what's going on.
Maybe they're trying to save themselves? Huh. That could be possible. Like, something happened and their DNA has been so destroyed. Sorry. I just did DN. Will do. Wait. Done. Moon phase. Congratulations. You have been promoted. Where was I? Yeah, about the DNA manipulation, that their DNA, like, they did something like nuke their planet or something, and their DNA has been so corroded over the years that they have to have our DNA to replace whatever was destroyed with theirs.
Oh my god, you're literally talking about this shit.
What? I just thought of that.
No, I'm telling you.
It could be possible. Hell, you never know. These things might be the Martians, and they destroyed Mars, and they had a full atmosphere and everything, but they destroyed it.
All these things next week. Okay?
Okay.
All of it.
Why do you guys make the settings so we cannot back to the beginning if we missed hearing something?
Oh, you don't have DVR on.
Sorry.
Going on. And I spoke to my good friend Paul Sinclair, Barry Fitzgerald, Steve Miller, many of those researchers. And we believe that the system we serve will not be able to tell the general public what's really going on. And even more difficult is the fact that you have those within the departments of ufology who have it all worked out and will only see it one way. Well, I say to you that I've always been open to all forms of conjecture. I have never labeled anything and said this is what the phenomena is. This is real. And these denizens, these beings that lie to their subjects, are even more of interest to me. So what is it? What do they want? When I was abducted, if that's what you want to call it, embarrassingly going through a procedure, I've been told what they were doing. I'm not interested in that now. It happened. I need to move on. But it did open an awareness of my understanding that we're dealing with something far more complex.
There's a lot of curiosities, there's a lot of things that need to be questioned regarding this phenomena. And as I said, I believe there is some kind of copycat consciousness, something with us. It is connected to mind. It is connected to mind. I believe from the moment we're born to the moment we die, it's there with us. And it must be weak or somehow it's after something, because on top of the abductions of these graves that change enormously, like all things, they put implants in people. I've seen some of them. I was fortunate enough to meet a gentleman who is an expert.
Taz, you're mean.
Thomas, of the extraction of them, the analysis. And I looked at this box for the first time, him and his wife were there, and I looked at this box of these alleged kind of implants, if that's what they are. They're real. They're all black. Do you know what I got from that? The feeling I got was shocking, because the first thought that came into my head was death. I just got death from it. I'm not implying that people are going to die from it. It's just what these things were. It's like death. Are we dealing with the dead? A darker aspect of those that are deceased? Corrupted souls? I don't know. There's something.
In my abduction account, when I was 4 years old, the alien, when he turned around and realized he had made a mistake, that I'm awake, it's awake. At that point, he's going to try to change my imagery. And the way he did that, he changed. I was not afraid, wasn't upset, wasn't anything. And I didn't know what it was. In 1952, nobody knows anything about aliens, especially little kids, 4 years.
Wow, he's abducted in 1952. Wow, he was one of the first.
I mean, yeah.
He was one of the first.
Yeah.
I never heard this guy's story before. I'm not quite sure what it is exactly. Interesting.
Years old, they don't know anything. So I'm like, why is this guy so skinny? I noticed he didn't have a genitalia, which means if you don't have genitalia, you don't procreate. I didn't know that at the time, but he didn't have a navel either. If you don't have a navel, it means you weren't born. You were hatched, cloned, or made, or manufactured. You got here some other way and for some other purpose. So he's looking at me, and finally his eyes made a slight movement. I could see that because there's light in the room, a little bit of light. And instantly I was struck with the most horrific fear. You got to understand, I'm 4 years old. I don't know what fear is. I don't get it. And this is a fear beyond any, and it took me many years to figure out he's transferring his fear to me. They live in a world that we don't know nothing about. We think we do. We apply human stuff to them. We don't have a clue. They live in a world of fear.
Yeah. How if he's never been exposed to aliens, how would he know about them at 4?
Yeah.
And like visualize something like that if it didn't happen. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Exactly.
Like I don't understand why people don't believe these people, because they're like very, you could tell they've suffered trauma.
Right. Do you realize that if you read this chapter in his book, it will confirm exactly what you thought, that there were humans before Adam?
There you go.
It proves
What
it
is
pretty
this?
much. This is Michael Sarian, Atlantis, Alien Visitation and Genetic Manipulation. It's a first edition, too. Perfect condition.
You don't mind if I read this?
Do you know how much this book sells for on Amazon? $800 a copy.
Wow.
And it's in perfect condition.
The Irish and Christianity. And recalling his researches on the connect that brought on the Dark Ages, Robert Stanley, the noted editor of Unicus magazine, related to us that they indicate that the early Christian influence to Ireland was readily accepted because of the widespread sky-borne disaster that affected Europe.
What?
Stating that starting in 531 AD, it caused the skies to be dark for years and brought the fall of the Roman Empire.
What?
They stated that the Irish accepted the teachings of hell by the migrant missionary St. Patrick because they had already lived through a type of hell on Earth.
Isn't that incredible stuff? That's just one little paragraph.
That's awesome.
Michael Sarian is one of the most amazing men that I know, that I've ever listened to.
This sounds interesting.
Now, just to let you know,
yeah,
he is friendly with Blavatsky.
That's fine, I am too.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Anyway, let's continue on.
If you can find a copy of this, folks, get this book. If you can find a copy of it. That's not $800. Okay? Though I spent $60, I sniped it on eBay for $60. But it's sold on Amazon for $800.
I have no idea what happened. It was a volcano in 531? I have no idea.
Absolutely. It most likely was that. Yes. Or something supernatural, where you can't know. You didn't live there.
There you go.
Hierarchy that's horrific. It makes a strict military outfit like a joke. So the bottom line is simply that I was paralyzed. I didn't know what to do. I fell back in my little bed, and he started moving toward me. I really got scared. Then I pushed so hard in my little bed, pushed away from the wall, and I fell. Now the covers are wrapped around my arms, and I fell, bounced my little head off the floor, and he can't get to me that way. So he lifts. It's a kid's worst nightmare. They lift up the covers and stick that huge white bulbous head with those large black eyes right next to your face. And he tries to change my perception of him into a clown.
These people aren't lying. Do you understand?
Now, I knew he wasn't a clown. He's not shape-shifting. That's not happening here. He's changing my perception of him
into a clown? I don't know. I'd rather see an alien looking at me than a clown.
I could agree with that. For sure.
I don't know. If a clown was staring at me in my own bed, I'd get punchy. I'm not too fond of them clowns, you hear?
To that clown, I keep shaking my little head back and forth. No. Because I wanted to remember this clown for what he was, not for the clown he wanted me to think he was.
The Greys themselves are interested in replication. They're interested in hybridization, so we are told. Why is that? Are they clones? And if we clone ourselves as humans, does that mean that we will cancel out the soul, any energy signature of what we really represent beyond this level of reality that we consider to be reality? Greys are...
I don't think the soul will carry on to the clone.
If the clone becomes a Christian, it has a soul.
Possibly.
Definitely.
It was 536, my bad. It led to a year without winter. The Justian plague, the bubonic plague thrived in conditions. It was rough, yeah.
Looking for something. And perhaps even through these other denizens, the reptilians, or whatever they are. Who knows? Are they working together? Is the force the same? Is it presenting itself in the way that it would understand that I would see it? I don't know. So it was of interest to me to find out what these were. And this is back in 1996. And now we hear about all these areas of consciousness. We have to be very careful when we're dealing with elements of the paranormal and with the mind, because how can we differentiate fact from fiction? We can do that because there are certain models, patterns that we can connect together to try and find out what these things are, where they're coming from.
I believe cats talk to you telepathically. I believe that.
So you can understand that the Greys were of great interest to me. Now, when you get involved in ufology or whatever, cryptozoology or elements of the paranormal, you will find that you will be drawn into other areas of the paranormal.
That's true. What is that? Why is it if you're interested into the paranormal, you're always drawn into other things that are paranormal? Like cryptids and UFOs and ghosts.
If you're into its mystery. People want to know the mysteries. The ones that are thinking, anyway.
Deadhead, he is arguing with someone. He's dealt with dealing with this stuff his whole life. So he's arguing with all the people who told him he was a liar.
Yeah, it's confirmed he isn't now.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're not just stuck within the annals of UFO research. I then got involved with psychic phenomena, life after death. I wanted the proof. I wanted the truth to find out what we are. We're not just biological systems that live and die with a sell-by date. Right. My goodness me, this system makes us believe that we're all just animals.
Exactly.
Yeah, but even animals aren't just animals.
Yeah, but he makes a great point.
They have a nephesh.
They say we come from apes, and it's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Shanny will never hear the end of it now about the cat telepathy, just like the fake moon.
Well,
you know what? Just how do you know what your cat's thinking then if it's not telepathic?
Are you positive the moon isn't a hologram?
Yeah, what if it is a hologram?
Are you positive it's not? Because I'm not.
Were you on the moon?
Have you gone to the moon?
Have you touched it?
That's right.
We can understand our pets via energy, land, body language. That's true. I think that's telepathic in a way, though, if you think about it. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, you just know what your cat wants, and they're just looking at you. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wookie, I love you.
That we live and we die, and there's nothing. The universe. I know that you could bang your head against the wall when you're trying to find out what that is, but think about it. The enormity of what is holding space together. And you also notice, without jumping the gun here, oh, there could be life out there, but it's too far away to get to. Yeah? And these other, people in society, well-known people, they just look after their credentials. They come out of the cupboard, they're wheeled out. Oh, yes, UFOs are real, aliens are real. And then when it all goes quiet, they wheel themselves back in again. No, we want the truth. That's what we're after. The major...
Wookie's like, anymore, I'm not positive on anything anymore, but when I peep the moon via my telescope, it doesn't look like a hologram. What about those, lines that people see come down at, a helicopter? I saw shepherds. Very sweet. Very sweet. Thank you. I'll email you back after Jason reads it after the stream.
What?
You'll see. It's so sweet.
Oh, okay.
There's been a lot of things that have happened to me and my twin brother. A lot of them quite, incidental, but close-up range with UFOs. But there were 4 major instances, including my brother's connection with the doctors and also with our maternal grandmother when we were young, with a silver orb in the garden in their house in Felton, Middlesex. I always say to people, keep your experiences exactly as they occur. Don't add or subtract. On the 9th of April 2016, at precisely 11:15 p.m. at night, my brother and I had been at a police friend's birthday party for me and my brother. I didn't drink because I was driving, as God is my witness. My brother didn't drink either. And I was ready to go about 10 to 11. And my sister and my niece were there, and they'd gone off on their own. It was a cold, clear night. And as I was driving back towards Kempston from Copel, the village Copel, my brother and I clocked these 3 enormous lights, white lights, in a triangular formation close to where we lived. And we thought, well, there must be some workman lanterns or something. And when we got closer, I got onto Cow Bridge. I had to stop the car and wind the window down. I have an electric window now. I've gone posh now. I have a button you press, the window goes down. But then I wound the window down.
No, I understand. I wouldn't be discussing that either in public. Thank you for that.
And I wanted to hear any sound. There was no sound. And these lights seemed to have descended. When I drove up to the house, the most incredible thing ever. These 3 huge, not these, this is another part that my niece got involved with this. They were hanging 90 feet above our heads. They were huge. As I got out of the car with my brother, staring up, there was no sound.
Yeah, you made my stream the other night, Germans. It was awesome. It was awesome. This is so weird.
Well, white, glowing, in a triangular formation. They were separate because you could see the stars through them. And my mobile phone was going off. It was my niece trying to get hold of me. Because she, at that point, had been taking her mother home to Marston and at Lower Shelton. She was going back to Marston. She pulled the car over because she saw these objects on their way. She got out of the car. She was so scared. She filmed them on her mobile phone. They have been analysed. That's a daytime image of it. Jason Gleaves of UFO Only kindly went through the whole thing because I wanted to find out what they were. I wanted the truth. And the other picture on the left was another man that came to me when he was coming for a reading and said, I have something to show you about the thing that happened to you on the 9th of April. This is what I caught. And these 3 lights have been seen, and you can see the triangular formation of illuminated lights, enlarged and enhanced view. There seems to be some energy. I had a feeling like they were communicating with one another. I can't prove that, but they were looking for something. And that's another image of the UFOs. Now, when my brother and I were observing them, there was no one around. It was a Saturday night. No one walking their dog, no one coming from the pub, no cars, just me and my brother.
And when we spoke, it was like someone, it just snowed, you know, that muffled feeling.
Ah, you made my night react to my arrest. You and Rev made me feel welcome and giving a place where I can be myself, so thank you guys. No problem.
No, I can tell you have a heart of gold, buddy. I can tell you.
I'm sorry. People's arrest should not be held against them.
I can't believe she did that.
Yeah, I know.
That he said,
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, Shepherds of Germans, Mr. Pancake Bud Dicker.
Feeling. And the objects that were in a triangular formation, the one to the far left came to the one to the front, stopped, went back, then they configured it into a line, and they shot off, like moving across glass. It was incredible. The next day, on the 10th of April, we had a helicopter, a white helicopter, so low to our house roof house, the top, coming around in circles 3 times. We could see the pilots, didn't know what that was about, and there was no mention of it. Andy Thomas, so I did a talk up there.
Someday, my friend, we'll have that group hug. That'll be great. We just, like, find a place to all gather.
So for him, he found out that the objects, we discovered that they had been moving from the Isles of Scilly and operating across the St. Michael Mary ley line. So we think the UFOs were attracted to the ley line, or they were looking for something, but we had been...
The UFOs are attracted to ley lines? Have you ever heard that, honey? Maybe that's where they harness their power, is from the ley lines.
Yeah, that's why you got all these monuments. They generated energy. Like the obelisks and shit. And pyramids.
I'm all in. If we do a onesie stream, I will get one. Yeah, we all got to get that leopard onesie. It's great. It'll be the greatest leopard onesie event ever.
Yeah.
Toto, you've been arrested 4 times? Shit. I'm sorry, man. I've been in handcuffs 3 times. And it's not fun. And in my opinion, all times were bullshit. Because the first one was because my ex's stepbrother was dealing drugs. And he was living with us at the time, so I kicked him out for that. The second time was me using a sex whip on Jason, and I got arrested for that because I told the cops, yeah, I used my whip on him. Is that a problem? And then the third time was a false arrest done by a crew of evil, evil people. So, I get ya. And I don't want to hear anyone say I don't take responsibility for my actions. Yes, I do. I take responsibility that I pushed the fucker out of my house. Hell yeah. I have children I have to protect. But the other times... bullshit.
Honoured, privileged even, for them to be hanging over us, or were we? You find that this phenomenon is very strange. It seems to integrate on a personal level and leaves you with no answers, more questions. Since that time, there's been no more appearances of UFOs, and I think perhaps the phenomena now sees my identical twin brother and I, myself, as nothing more than washed out old has-beens. There's a joke there. We have a sense of humour. They're probably no longer interested in us because, you know, we clocked what they may be. An energy, a force, an intelligence that is so far removed from what we've been sold already, from the media cartel. And this is why I think the system will have a hard job telling the public, the general public, what we may be dealing with on an empirical level of not just ufology, but conscious awareness. So you'll fall into a category where people label you. You know, you're this and you're that. You're attacked. Truth is, I don't care. I'm not bothered anymore.
Same.
Yeah, me either.
Same. They're just closed-minded idiots and buffoons who don't know how to listen. That's how I feel about them.
Yeah,
I'm sorry that guy went through that. Made fun of because of an event that happened between him and his brother when they were kids.
Yeah, it's horrible. I just want to say, Shepherds, I had no fucking idea that woman did that. And that's repulsive. Absolutely repulsive to do. Yeah. I had no idea.
She's just a bad person.
What bothers me is the truth and what's really going on, because I care for all of us, the essence of what we are, what we represent beyond the physical part of our biology. Even our past is suspect. Have you noticed?
Good evening, Todd. Have your feet up? Are you off work? Are you feeling better?
That there is no clarity, is there, about our genesis? Welcome. It's all wavering in the wind. We have the religious interpretation, as I said before, faith and hope. That's great, isn't it? Yeah, that's safe. And a scientific cold interpretation, chaos. I didn't buy it. The Greys were of interest to me because, you know, they were like magicians. This whole thing about, I'm not disputing the love and light nature of people's way that they see this, but I had a very negative experience, and I think that a lot of people are now allowed to speak about that without being subjugated and pushed into a corner. No, the Greys fit here. No, the UFOs fit there. This is how we see them. but they're interested in us as a species. So this was another article I had published about the greys and the process of reproduction, why they're interested in the soul.
They're interested in the soul? Huh. Interesting. Why would you be so worried about the soul unless you deal with God? In some way, shape, or form.
They're probably thinking about becoming Christians.
Yeah.
Because that day, I believe, the entire universe shook. There was an earthquake in the universe when he died.
Yeah, dude.
And those times that he appeared to Peter, like he did, on the road, they didn't even know it was him, right? They were walking with him.
Yes.
And then they had broke bread with him. They were going to eat with him, and he broke the bread and he disappeared. Because they knew who he was then.
Exactly.
I think he did that with alien races.
Interesting.
He paid for the ransom of sin for the entire universe.
Consciousness,
Earth and humans.
what we are, our genealogy, and the system we serve. From birth to death, an incarnation process appears evident, no matter...
Dude, I will always be a 90 baby, so fuck the system.
Oh my god, you're so fucking lucky, Moonphase.
Oh,
fucking
Culver's.
Butterburger. I would break my no meat for that. Once. I would. Oh! So good.
Right?
I cried.
matter what we have been told or sold by a system which brings no clarity surrounding our true genesis. To them, we are merely a biological machine. The system sees us as just worthless instruments of work to pay taxes. Who are these people? Where are they?
Who are you?
Like the magician and the Wizard of Oz, they hide behind a curtain, don't they? These rich, powerful people, and their puppets are orchestrated within society to do their bidding, and they're rewarded beyond measure. I did speak to Steve Miller today, and we acknowledged that, if anyone comes too close to the truth within fiction, most notably some very well-known authors, they're rewarded beyond measure. Knighted, ordained, rich. But if you get too near to the truth with fact, you are admonished, and they want you to disappear.
Correct. Mm-hmm. They don't want you too close to the truth, but they want you kind of outside the edge so they can work with you over their truth.
Oh my god, 90s, yeah.
I know. Back before people weren't offended over every little small joke you say.
Back when the internet had no social media.
Yeah,
when it was Napster and LimeShare, and every once in a while, well, you gotta go in the browser for your email.
Heck yeah, dude.
You've got mail.
I'm so, I don't like that our tons are being censored as much as it has been.
I know it's for good purposes, people's feelings, but it goes too far.
Yeah, it does.
So you can get too close to something, but then if you get too close to it, they don't want to know. So I wanted to find out where we went. What is this all about? Why do we come here? I mean, why do we continually, if this is the truth, reincarnate? Who would want to come back here?
Exactly. I've been saying that for the longest time, God knows.
Oh my god, yes. Ground around. Fuck yeah.
Who would want to come back to this earth? No. Over and over and over again.
That's hell.
When I get to the other side, I'm going to get a refund. And I'm going to say to them, what on earth, was that all about? And if any angel points its wand at me, I'll say, well, you need to get your sorry ass down there. And when you've finished, I'll be accepting your apology. It is a harsh lot, isn't it? Even for our own kind as human beings, we are not so kind to one another. It's an ugly world. There's been no progression, no advancement. It just feels all manufactured, and to me, a nightmare, like Noddy's Toyland. It's pathetic. But we have brilliant minds, all of you here,
right,
and other researchers trying to push outside those boundaries of reality and not seeing the fabricated version we have been sold.
Damn, that was good.
The mask in which it interacts with us. Oh
my god, I still had all my burn disc shepherds until we lost everything at that scumbag hotel. I still had all my burn discs, my mix CDs. They're all gone now. Everything's gone.
I'm looking at the end here. Ancient alien mind control. It's David Icke, man.
Oh, yeah.
When the what?
Credo
Mutwa.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's awesome.
Those who do not know Credo Mutwa, he's like a high shaman priestess of a tribe in Africa.
Priest.
What is it called?
He's a shaman. Yeah, the Zulu.
The Zulu.
Yeah.
And he talks about reptilian people and the moon being fake.
Did he talk? What? Moon being fake?
He says
really?
The moon is a spaceship.
I did not know that about him. I don't remember him talking about that.
Yeah, it's very interesting stuff, Credo.
Wow.
Mutwa. Gilligan's Island, I Love Lucy, Beverly Hillbillies. We were easily entertained. Yeah.
Nick at Night. Everything Nick at Night, pretty much. Except that girl.
Yeah.
I hated that show.
This is the last video of the night. I think after the stream, we should do our duty for May 4th and watch A New Hope.
Wow. You want A New Hope, okay.
I do.
I think I'd be into that, I think.
A New Hope would be great.
Yeah, but of the three, how do you rate them?
What?
The three movies, the trilogy. Because that's all that exists.
Okay.
How do you rate them?
Well, my favorite is Return of the Jedi.
Interesting.
Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes, A New Hope.
Okay. I'm Empire Jedi New Hope. I think
go.
Empire's the best. I love it because it's dark as fuck. The Empire is just fucking strong in that.
I like how spiritual Luke is in
Jedi.
Luke is in Jedi.
I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
I get that. And he got his arm chopped off. He's like a sage, almost. in that.
Exactly.
I do give props, though, to episode... I don't know what episode it is. Wait, 4 or 5. Episode 6.
Okay.
With old Luke.
Yeah.
Just because it's him.
Exactly.
The other movies don't exist.
No.
The prequels, they're dog shit.
Yeah.
They suck.
Well, I like the side movies a little bit better. Like
what? Oh, yeah, Solo.
Solo was great.
Rogue One.
And Rogue One. Yeah, those are
I
good
give them
movies.
some respect.
Yeah.
Solo was legit good.
Yeah, Donald Glover was a shit.
But
in
it
that
still
movie.
doesn't. I don't believe it's canon of Star Wars. I don't accept it.
All right, can we play this now?
Well, we're talking May the 4th stuff. What the fuck?
I know.
Go ahead.
White men started destroying our religion.
See, when white man started destroying our religion, and I agree, those bloody frickin' English. I'm not a part of them. I'm Irish. Just know, my lineage never did any of the shit that the white man did. For we are also a slave race.
Wow,
Thank you.
Shepard's never seen any Star Wars movies.
No.
That's incredibly amazing.
It's
You know?
never too late to start.
I'm just going to tell you, the only thing that exists is the 3 episodes. That's all that exists.
There you go.
The prequels don't exist, okay? Even though they do, they don't.
That's true.
The only thing that came good out of those first 3 movies is Darth Maul.
There you go.
He started demonizing our gods. When he started ridiculing what we believed in and actually using educated Africans to destroy that ancient African religion.
They didn't want you to know the truth. That's what it is. They didn't want you to know that you interacted with these things.
The roots.
Yeah.
Christianity, it's disgusting, has been a whitewash of history.
Yes.
Because of the papacy.
Yes. And it's gross because this is not what Jesus wanted.
No.
In many parts of Africa, sir, our ancient religion went underground. And there were, call them secret societies, all over South Africa and Central Africa and East Africa and West Africa, where this knowledge was stored. I found that the mission schools had been teaching me lies about my people all along.
Start from the very first one, Shepherds, A New Hope, episode 4. Episode 4.
4.
Yep.
I'm telling you, if you want to take my advice, you don't have to. But stop with the 3 movies. My opinion, I don't say it's gospel or nothing. I just suggest don't watch the prequels, don't watch the epilogues. It's garbage compared to the 3 movies.
Correct.
It's garbage. The new character, Rey, is that her name? Her name's Rey, right?
Yes.
A broken character. Because she's OP from the start. There's no character development.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll just stop talking.
Missionaries had told us as children that the only light came to Africa with white people. That before the white men came, we black people had no idea about God. We had no belief in a life after death. And that our people were just a race of savages who used to lie around in the sun.
I'm so sorry that happened to your people.
I love this guy.
This is so evil.
I've definitely seen this, but it's literally, I saw this probably when I first woke up in 2008 once. And that was it.
Yeah.
He's great. I love this man. And they fucked his people. You know?
Yep.
It's horrible.
Womanize, fight, and drink beer every day. I was suddenly...
They always call the Irish drunks. And we were called savages as well, who kiss dirt and hug trees. Yeah. And a lot of our culture also has been whitewashed and stripped away. The Irish, definitely, their ancient religion, everything has been taken away.
Michael Sarian absolutely talked about that so much.
Yeah.
He claims that the origins of civilization are Irish.
Ah, interesting.
Yep.
Awakened to the fact that Africans...
Oh, you stepped away for a bit? A New Hope. Episode 4.
Watch the trilogy in order.
Yep.
Had in fact been far greater intellectual than the missionaries were willing to give them credit for. That, like the white man, we had astrology, astronomy, we had surgery. In fact, I found that Zulu surgeons in the early years of the 19th century and the 18th century and even beyond could perform operations which white surgeons were not capable of operating.
Interesting.
My own research around the world has certainly focused in on the fact that there is a force, not of this world, shall we say, that is the common theme. What is your experience and your knowledge of an extraterrestrial involvement in the history of Africa?
What? Are my services needed?
No.
One of the most secret stories that was revealed to me is about these beings.
Later, Shepherd. I love you.
God bless you.
Yeah, have a good night. God bless. This is the last video I'm doing anyway for the night.
This story was revealed to me first in Barotziland, then in the country today called Rwanda, once known as Rwanda Urundi. Then I learned about this story at that time on the foothills of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Oh, really?
So awesome.
This is the story, a story you find throughout Africa. There was once a time when the blue sky was invisible.
Ooh, it's clear?
There was once a time when the blue sky was invisible. Really?
When the whole world was covered with mist.
That's the firmament.
That's the firmament.
That falls in...
Their culture
Genesis.
remembers it.
That's amazing.
He's talking about the firmament.
It was clear. It wasn't a blue sky. It was clear.
Crazy.
That's amazing shit.
When you could not see the sun as it is now, you only saw it as a splash of white light moving slowly across the sky. At that time, there was an eternal drizzle every day of the year.
Around the planet.
At that time, people could not see the stars. People only saw the trees growing, trees which were very, very big. There was no desert at that time, only jungle everywhere where you were. At that time, sir, people were what we call in Zulu, Ngubili. A human being was both male and female in one body.
A human being was both male and female in one.
The original Adamic race was it was hermaphroditic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the story of Adam, where Eve is created from his rib, is the new creation.
Ah,
Penis
okay.
and vagina. Separate.
And out of the sky, one day, came terrible objects. They were like gigantic bows made of huge gleaming gold.
Aliens. The Vimana. It sounds like the Vimana.
Objects. He goes
Made
into
from
what
gold.
It is.
The Anunnaki, I bet.
He goes into what it is, of course.
Yeah.
They were shaped like bows without strings, and they were bigger than the biggest mountains.
Bows.
They came out of the sky, bringing great noise, black smoke, and fire with them. And out of those huge objects
Well, that makes
came
sense.
them. At that time, sir, human beings could not speak. We had
I mean, look, anything that enters our atmosphere is a great big fire.
Yeah.
And so that would make sense. This
The
is the first
atmosphere.
time they saw something enter our atmosphere, I guess.
No gift of language at that.
With no string.
And people had, however, great mental power. A man would go into the bush and using the power of his mind, actually call out an animal which he wanted to hunt and kill for his children.
Dude, you could summon the animals by just thinking it.
Need some food.
Oh, that'd be nice.
They volunteer for your food. That's beautiful.
It must be the connection with God or something.
Yeah. We lost our most of our telepathic abilities.
We used to have so much power.
Yeah. Gods.
And the animal would appear and kneel down before the man, and the man would kill the animal and take it home. But when the Chitahuli arrived in Africa,
the Chitahuri.
That's the reptilians.
Yeah, the Chitahuli.
Chitahuri, yeah.
They told our people that they were gods and that they were going to give us human beings great gifts on one condition. We had to worship them.
That's it.
Fallen angels, baby.
That's it.
Fallen angels.
He's describing exactly, and it happened globally.
The Book of Enoch said this shit.
Genesis 6.
Yeah.
He's describing it.
Yep.
Exactly.
And this is completely unattached from Christianity or any Western type thinking.
It's Zulu tribe history.
Orally
Oral.
given.
Yeah.
Through the years.
That's right.
And accept them as our creators.
No way. Lies.
Lies.
Some told our people that they were our elder brothers and that this earth had produced them generations ago. The Chitauri said, if you serve us, you wretched little human beings, we are going to make you into gods. And
Genetic manipulation.
Yep.
And I think that's something that's a fucking Nimrod. That's that shit. He probably talked to these things before they came in mass.
Well, they did the same thing to the people of Greece and Rome. They told them that we would turn you into a god.
Mm-hmm.
The same story with them.
Same story.
Yeah.
And India.
Yep.
The Aryans. This all fits together, and it's events in the Bible.
Dude, I'm already the image of the Creator.
Yeah.
I'm already a little god.
That's right.
I don't need some being that I don't know who he is or what they are. Tell me who I am.
Right.
I know who I am. I know what God I serve.
Yeah.
And I know the power that God instilled in me.
There you go. It's because he loves you.
Yeah.
the human beings agreed to serve the Chitauri. And the Chitauri gave human beings a second gift, the gift of language.
So we
The gift of language. Book of Enoch.
have these archetypal mythological images of the vampires. What do they do in order to survive? They get invited into people's houses. They use charm, they use trickery, they use deception, and they find a way to get the target to invite them in. They seduce. They're usually not aggressive, because if somebody's aggressive with you, you can be aggressive back. If your government or the powers that be are aggressive with you, you can resist aggression. It's not very effective because you actually make the target population fight back. The more aggressively you try and control them, the more you're inviting them to fight back. That's a mammalian response. It's not a reptilian response. A mammalian response is, I push you, you push back. I poke you, you fight back. You don't want to do that. It's not very smart. The reptilian way of getting it done is through seduction. It's through the use of words. So notice where you see a person, the micro, or people, the macro, relying on words more than actions. Words more than actions.
Ah, fuck that. I believe actions over words any day. Any day.
Words more than actions is an indication of narcissistic psychopathy, the archontic archetype, and
A liar. Liars use words. People who are honest use actions. Because actions speak louder than words. That old thing.
coming from the reptilian space in the brain. Why? Because it's easy to lie. What's another archetypal myth that we have? Satan. The snake in the Garden of Eden. How did he do his damage? How did the snake, the first most primal reptile, which is, a snake is nothing
He did it by speaking.
more than a brain and a spine. A brain, a spine, and a mouth, and some fangs, and some poison. That's it. How did he get his work done? He whispered and he spoke lies. He's like the first propaganda merchant. He's the first politician. He's the first PR agent that ever existed. He's the media. He's whispering lies. It's words, because with words, you can misrepresent reality. You can't with actions.
Exactly.
You can't. When you move into the world of words, that's when you get lost. When you move into the world of narrative, I can spin any narrative I like. I could.
Exactly. But it's not honest. It's not moral. It's not ethical to spin any narrative. Let the truth be the truth. And those who like to fiddle around in narratives, in my opinion, are very close-minded, idiotic fools who don't seem to understand that they're being manipulated by someone who's manipulative for the purpose of God knows why. Power, money, sex, food.
I could take the books on this desk now and I could tell you a fascinating story about a thing that you would be fascinated by. I could cast a spell over you. I could, what is it called? It's a glamour. When we talk about celebrities being glamorous, that comes from an old world glamour, which is a spell. If I cast a glamour over you...
I didn't know that. Wow, thanks for letting me know that.
It's a spell. What is spelling? Spelling is the creation of words. It's all words and it's all magic and it's all... Usually, it is possible to be misused as a way of binding people in enslaving narrative. Words can also be used for good. We can tell stories that free people. We can write books that show people there's a reality beyond this reality that frees them. We can write books and tell narratives that show us what we probably already know at the deepest levels of our unconscious but hasn't come out yet. So these people will use words. The more you go into words, the more you go into narrative, the easier it is to be confused. So if you want to confuse the populace, what you do is you flood it with words. You flood.
Carrie, that's how you do what you do. You little propaganda machine with your bullshit. Don't say you my friend when you've recorded everything. Just saying. I never recorded any private conversations, and I wouldn't do that. Because you know why? I have morals and ethics, unlike you, bitch. Alright, I'm back. And I honestly had no clue who this guy is, actually. He teaches about narcissism. Is he a psychologist? Because he really is a very smart man, how he communicates. Hi, baby. Oh. Do you see the boy?
This is the best boy in the wood.
He is the best boy.
He's the best
We
boy.
gotta do Tobin check.
Tobin.
Tobin? Tobin.
You see these Tobins?
Little tub.
He's so cute.
He's a baby.
He's a teddy bear.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
You flood the population with narratives that conflict.
People started talking with their tongues where they had talked with their minds before. And there was a big rubbish starting again. Because this man did not know the language of that man. And when this man greeted that man, this man thought that he was being insulted. And so a lot of murder and culpable homicide started taking place all over the world. When our people were given language, they found to their horror that they had lost much of their mental powers. They had...
So, speech actually caused us to lose our power. So that means...
I think that goes along with the fall.
Yeah, I think it does too.
Paid a terrible price. But the Chitauri were now the masters of human beings. They made them, the human beings, to go into holes in the ground.
It's the same thing Satan promised. You will be like gods.
Uh-huh. Now the tree, good and evil is a tree.
Yep.
Which what? It's crazy. I was just reading that in Michael Sarian's book.
Huh.
It represents genetics.
There you go.
The tree.
And to mine metal, gold, copper, tin, all kinds of metal, the Chitauri forced our people to mine.
Ah, I get it. Slaves.
Yes. And
in
that's
mines.
That's exactly what Michael Sarian says.
They still have mines in Africa that have slaves.
The Adamic race was built to be a slave race.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly. why
We
it's
lost our instincts like animals. Know what animals to eat when sick. Yeah, exactly. It's fucked.
And
it's all about control.
The people were very unhappy because they couldn't cope with the new sexual differences which were there now between men and women. And then from amongst the Chitauri came a very good female Chitauri. Her name was Mai Nzarantwari.
Mai
Zamakwa.
That's Eve, I guess.
Samahongo. Mai Nzarantwari Samahongo was the senior wife of the terrible chief of the Chitauri.
You know, bad fuck.
Another name just came to my mind.
Who?
Lilith.
I was thinking that name when he was saying it.
There you go.
Umbaba Gorontwari Samahongo. She was sorry for human beings, this great reptile lady. She said to the poor people, "Ow, you are unhappy." And the people said, "Yes, great one. We go into the holes every day, we dig the stones and we bring it to the gods. But we are not happy." And Mai Nzarantwari scratched her scaly chin and began to think and to think. She was terribly ugly. Her eyes were awful, like lights in the darkness.
Whoa.
But she had mercy in her heart. And she taught the men and the women how to make love.
Oh.
Really?
So they gave us sex to make us happy.
That's different.
There you go.
Okay.
Hey, sex is a good stress relief.
I think we would have instinctively got it if we were Adam and Eve. It's like, okay, pull hole, do it. Stick the pole in the hole.
Maybe they didn't focus on that. I don't know.
Maybe not.
And she said, "Look, we divided you into males and females. Now this action is going to bring you together." But it did not. Because anyone who receives a gift from the Ntwari, the children of the python, is always in trouble.
What do these
Children of the python.
Children of Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Rupert Murdoch?
Yeah.
narcotic reptilian types, the narcissistic psychopaths want submission. If they can get your submission, then they get their narcissistic supply, which is power. The only thing they're focused on is power. The power to do what? No, you're being human. You're being reasonable. You're using the more human parts of the brain. You're saying, well, if you want power, it's to do something. That's a human projection. This is power. Why? Because power. Power. Why? Because power. Nothing else. Submission. Why? What for? Because submission. I want the people to worship me. I want them to kneel at my feet, because in the core of my being, I feel that's the natural order. And when I...
Psycho.
That's the truth. That's Satan.
Right?
It's Lucifer.
What's up, Blaze?
I will listen to Albert Pike. Why? He was connected, and he was very bright. Smart guy. He said the goal is Lucifer being worshipped. That's it.
It's because they got the same deal, I guess.
I think so.
Them have their own individual thoughts, and when they resist me and the wonder that is me, I fly into a violent rage and I want to hurt them. This is called narcissistic injury. When you say no to a narcissist, no to somebody stuck in the R complex, their response will be aggression. Because in their worldview, as I said before, they're mapping in a very primal way, a very infantile way. It's like pre-toddler mapping.
Chantal, Carrie,
yeah,
Ben, Drag, G-Man, all of them act like this. Every single one of them.
MPD.
It's like, no, this is mine. The world is mine. And you say, well, actually, there's other people in the world, and it's not. No! There are certain terms that I'd like to clarify. The term archon, it's Greek, and it literally translates as Lord. In the Gnostic texts, the archons were understood to be demonic figures that were manifestations of the demiurge, the false god of the false reality that we find ourselves living in now. So that's what an archon is. The term monarch or hierarchy, they all relate to this. For the purpose of this series, we decided to call them, as in narcissism, narcons. Narcissism.
Narcissism.
Oh my god, that's great. This guy's
right?
awesome.
So a Greek word. It's based on the Greek myth of a chap called Narcissus. He was a hunter, allegedly from Laconia, where Sparta is located in ancient Greece, and he was particularly beautiful. And with his beauty, he fell in love with his own image, and in falling...
Lucifer.
In love with his own image, he was typically very cruel to female suitors who came to him to tell him that he was beautiful, they wanted to be with him, and in some mythologies, he caused the suicides of many of these women. One
Ew.
Asshole.
He didn't care, he's like Diddy.
of the goddesses, Aphrodite, heard of this and sent one of her manifestations to punish him. One day, after he'd been out hunting, he was particularly thirsty and he came upon a pool of water. She caused him to look into the pool, to see his own reflection, and to fall in love with the beautiful man that he saw there in the full bloom of his youth. Remaining trapped there, he realized that the love of this image would never reciprocate, and in the fire of his own passion, he died and was consumed in his own fire and turned into a flower, which we now know as the narcissus. Narcissistic personality disorder, as developed by and popularized by Sigmund Freud as a personality disorder, is characterized by a very rigid way of interacting with reality that depends on the individual gazing lovingly at their own reflection. So the individual is only ever really viewing reality as a reflection of themselves. So they actually can't see reality as it is. It's a very lonely personality disorder in which
It seems like it. They seem to push everyone away.
Yeah.
No soul, only ego. Unbelievable that these type of people exist when you're real. Right? I
Yeah, I know.
I care too much. Like, I don't understand narcissism. Like I understand it, like, in a, scientific, psychological point of view, but, like, the ability to become that and look at things and it's all about you all the time. It's like, I don't, like, internally, like, understand that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's, like, it's completely opposite of me.
Yeah, I agree.
They are surrounded by people but fail to connect deeply. Yeah, that's weird to me. That's just weird to me.
Yeah. Me too.
Because I like connecting deeply with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Me too.
which there's just one person there. Where does this happen in the development of a human being? Well, typically, this happens very, very young, usually...
Early childhood trauma causes narcissism. There you go.
There you go.
All personality disorders usually is based on that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Shanny, they are your past, we are your future.
That's beautiful.
I love that. Thank you, Deanne.
I take that.
Before the age of 4. So in the timeline of a human being, before they hit the age of 4 years, some trauma, some incident causes them to become stuck in their development. They get trapped in a state of arrested development where they cease to be able to distinguish between themselves and what the psychiatrists call objects around them.
You can't seem to understand that they're people and they think like you do? Like they think different. Well, I mean, everyone thinks different, let's just say that, but like you can't distinguish it? That's weird.
Objects in the context of psychiatry, itself a quite narcissistic practice with using narcissistic language, refers to people. So the baby cannot tell the difference between its own self and the people around it. It's supposed to, in a healthy
It thinks like a Borg in a way, if you think about it.
environment, individuate. It never completes individuation. So when we think of narcissistic people, we think that their ego is big and strong and fully formed. Actually, that's not true. It's very small, very fragile, very weak, and has multiple fractures in it. It's so fragile and has so many fractures inside of the ego boundaries that they see the world and themselves as one entity. That's why
They see the world around them as one entity.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's why people like Donald Trump and Adolf Hitler say, I am the country.
Yeah, because they can't see the difference.
That's narcissism at its peak.
It's hard to wrap your mind around that like concept, actually.
It's very hard. No empathy at all. You are everything.
Yeah.
It's Luciferianism, too.
That's true.
Really, it teaches Luciferianism teaches you that you are God.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
when we're
other
talking about the narcons coming from the R complex part of the brain, the reptilian ancient part of the brain.
And it's a very little part of the brain, the Abdullah Amlagada. Before he says it, I know it.
Mm-hmm.
That was developed in an extremely harsh environment that's extremely primal and violent and is all about a brutal battle for limited resources. The people who are stuck in this modality, they effectively develop narcissism because they're so rigid, they're so stuck in the infancy of evolution as a human, as an animal, that they're actually stuck back in our evolutionary infancy in a...
Is it a way to make a narcissist, like, get out of that infancy and grow up?
Not after social.
How is child your child? Do you focus on them so intently? Empathy for your child, perhaps? Huh? My child is my child. My children are my children. And I give them empathy and know they are there because they came out of my body, and the first thing I felt before I was even pregnant was this incredible amount of love from both boys. And I think it's because of that feeling. They loved me first. That made me love them. Does that make any sense? I don't know how to explain it. Like, how do you love your child? Like, it just comes naturally, I guess.
Reptilian state. Reptilian is not particularly intelligent. Well, those amongst you who are intelligent would then ask, but if you're telling us they're stuck in a primal state where they lack imagination, they lack an ability to reason, they lack empathy, why do they run the world? Well, because we're in an environment where if you rush first to take power against people who do have all of their faculties, who are thinking about the pros and cons, how it'll affect the people around them, whether they're qualified for it, you'll win. And the more savage you are, you'll win. We don't have the best of us.
Survival of the fittest. Naturally for me, I had to learn. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks, sis. God. Sorry, I gotta charge my phone. Where the hell is it? Charger, 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 I love you. Come here, my sweetie charger, so I can plug you in, phone, and make you feel so much better. There you go, phone. Go eat, you little Borg.
Us in power. We have the greediest of us in power. We don't have the best of us in power. We have those who lust for the power most aggressively in power. We have the most aggressive, the most damaged, the most infantile, the most competitive. They're the ones who are in power, and that's why the world looks the way that it does.
Now, what do these Chitahuli actually look like, the reptiles?
I'm not a good artist, sir.
You're better than me, that's for sure.
But this is how we believe the Chitahuli look like. They were created in this. You see, sir, you white people say that there are alien beings on this earth. No, you are wrong. The earth in which we live has produced 24 different races during its long existence. Please, sir, this is how a Chitahuli looks like. It stands about 11 feet high.
11 feet high? Oh, they must have intimidated the hell out of these poor people. They're 11 feet. No. No. I don't want that thing near me. It's huge.
It is a very slender being which seems not to have a bone structure. Its fingers have no joints. They are more as if the bones in here were flexible. Some of the Chitahuli have got 3 claws with a thumb. Some have got 6 claws with a thumb. And some of the Chitahulis have got horns on their heads. And what surprises me is this. Some film producers, like the producers who make the film Star Wars, often show creatures in their films which actually exist, which even the most uneducated of Africans who knows this Chitahuli can identify. For example, in the new Star Wars film, what is it called? Star Wars or something like that, there is a creature who amazes me called Darth Maul.
Darth Maul?
Mm-hmm.
What about Darth Maul? They exist?
He says that the Chitahuri look exactly like Darth Maul.
Weird.
Darth Maul is a red and black being with a ring of small horns right round his head. That is exactly what the cheetah woolly look like. Some have got ordinary heads without any horns on their heads. These are the lesser cheetah woolly. But the royal cheetah woolly have got a ring of sharp horns all around their heads.
Wow.
George Lucas knows something.
He probably does. He probably listened to Mutwa.
Possible.
You know? Crazy.
And the very high cheetah woolly, like their king, Mubaba Samahongo, they have
Mubaba Samamongo. Okay.
got very long horns.
This must be Lucifer.
Which grow this way.
What is the imagery of Satan? He always has the horns on his head.
Big ones.
Yeah.
How about how he's portrayed in
Baphomet horns.
Well, the Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Fuck. What is it? Legend. Right? Is that right? The movie Legend?
Yeah.
From Tom Cruise.
Toto said my dad was in a canoe in Old Graveyard Lake, and something huge tried to turn him over in water in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Whoa, Arkansas has Nessie.
That's nuts.
Oof.
Not that way like a bull, but this way, like certain antelopes. Now.
Like antelopes, okay. Not like a bull, but like antelopes.
Like
they don't
antelope.
curve. They're just out.
Yeah.
I just wonder where these film producers get their information from. And in one
He's asking, where do these producers get their information? Right? Maybe they know beings like them.
They might.
You know?
Yeah.
strange films, which my student called me to come and watch, was the thing called Stargate 2. And in that film,
Stargate 2. Okay.
there was a creature, a very slimy, cream-colored creature with heavy wrinkles on its face. It was a spitting likeness of Mubaba Samahongo, the terrible emperor of the Chitang.
Well, clearly there's a tremendous amount of knowledge of what's been going on and what is going on, which comes out symbolically through...
Yeah, Legend. That's the name of it.
I said Legend.
Yeah, Legend. Legend is such a good movie.
That's an awesome movie.
I
love the cinematography in it.
I do too.
It's like a dream.
It reminds me of a Jim Henson film. It's probably why I like it.
Dark Crystal?
Yeah, Legend,
It's Dark
yeah.
Crystal-y, in a way. It does feel like Jim Henson.
The Bible said Lucifer was made beautiful, made the full pattern, yeah.
Yes, he was perfect.
Too perfect.
He was the most perfect entity that God created. He was number one.
Until Jesus came along.
No, until Adam came along, according to the Bible.
Okay, then.
Well, Jesus always existed.
Why do you love these things, not us?
Jesus always existed.
Fuck off, Lucy. You're a narcissist.
Sorry, excuse me. Oh, that's what's so good.
Films and areas of communication like Hollywood. But the thing that I'm totally stunned the more I talk to you about this is because I've been all over the world having people give me descriptions of seeing reptilian type figures, particularly people in positions of power in the world, changing into a reptilian figure and coming back again. And what they describe seeing is exactly what the knowledge of ancient Africa talks about seeing. We're talking about the same epaulet, which is an astonishing confirmation. And the eyes is something that keeps coming up being described. Tell me about the eyes of the Chitahu.
Say, a warrior Chitauri has got eyes like a snake. These eyes are yellowish with split pupils, and they glow in darkness.
They glow in darkness, like a cat.
That fucking picture that Skizzle had on today.
Yeah.
It was on top of a coffin. That looked like a fucking reptilian to me. And it looked real. Not like a bullshit video. That looked real.
So even Chitauri, a warrior Chitauri, one of the lesser classes, is hiding in a cave. You can see its eyes burning. But a royal Chitauri has got 3 eyes. It's got the yellow eyes, which glow in a strange, almost ice-like way, like jewels, like certain types of yellow jewel. And then they have got an eye in the center of their foreheads, an eye which doesn't close up down like a normal eye does, but which closes from side to side.
Oh, shit.
And which opens this way. Now,
whoa.
Dude. I think this is all true. I don't care what people say. I don't care
That's
if you think I'm
crazy.
fucking nuts. I believe all of it.
now this eye of the Chitauri is the eye that kills, because it can knock a man down just by the fire, the glare that comes out of it.
Wow, they can paralyze you just with their eyes.
Ugh.
That's nuts. Oh, that's
I don't like that.
Fucking sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis.
They can do that by just looking at you.
Like aliens can.
That's crazy.
The same beings.
This is where the constant recurring theme of the evil eye comes from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In fact, Mubaba, the emperor of the...
There's an alien in Men in Black that blinks sideways. Exactly.
Yeah, Mobaba. That's the
of
emperor
the
of
Chitauri, who is said to be still alive today. Mubaba has got a central eye. His other two eyes were stitched shut by a jealous wife.
Ooh.
But his killing eye, the summer hongo, the terrible red eye, opens. He can even open it like this. Mr. David, I would like to share a little thing with you. It is this.
Well, hello, Nikki from America. How you doing?
From UK.
Is this related to the Ponte? Yeah, these are aliens.
Shanny, that's a UK flag.
Yeah, I know. I'm in America. She said greetings from the UK.
Oh,
I
you
said greetings from America.
Okay, now I understand. I get it now. You were giving a salutation.
Yes, I was.
That's beautiful.
The best way to protect an evil thing is to deny its existence.
Right.
And if you talk about things such as the Chitauri, if you talk about things such as the Mandinda, there are many people who say to you, rubbish, this thing does not exist.
Exactly.
Now, in this way, this great evil is protected.
My research very clearly,
Brilliant. I love
and
this.
again, you're right, there's tremendous denial that this is the fact. Even among conspiracy researchers, there's tremendous denial that the Chitahuli, the reptilians, and the Illuminati are actually the same thing.
Exactly same.
Oh.
Exactly same.
Ew.
They are reptilian beings.
They have skin masks on.
Or they have the ability to shapeshift.
Or change your view of perception.
I think all of them probably don't possess that ability, but some of them have the ability to shapeshift, and they become our leaders. Some
There you
of
go.
them. I think so.
Because amongst my people, we say that when two Chitauri are challenging each other for power, and
Like Trump and Putin.
Yeah.
they must fight a duel
Kirk and Spock.
with their terrible eyes, they start glowing like fishes deep in the sea. And the faster they glow, the angrier they are said to be.
Ew.
Interesting.
Ew.
Now that is why there are certain parts of Africa where people are advised not to walk at night, because that is where the Chitauri often fight. And one of these parts of Africa, say, is a remarkable place called the Mountains of the Round Rocks, Matobo, wrongly pronounced Matopo, in Zimbabwe. These hills are really not remarkable in themselves. These hills are said to be the one place in Africa where the Chitauri have been seen.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Dude.
Let's do it.
Dude, this is reminding me that the theory is that the reptilians are under the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Denver airport jokes about it.
100% true. Phil Schneider's testimony.
Allie Carter's testimony.
She said there's all kinds of creatures down there, yeah.
Yep.
She mentioned reptilians?
Yep.
Did she?
Yep.
Holy shit. So she confirmed it too.
Yeah, she said, David Icke, the reptilians are real.
Exactly.
That's how she said it.
Bill Schneblin's testimony. Living out in Utah with the Mormons.
Exactly.
And he just saw a fucking lizard with a clipboard.
There you go.
And a white lab coat.
And these hills is where Cecil John Rhodes lies buried, but there is more. You must visit this place at one time. Amongst the rocks on the Matobo Mountains, you find a species of lizard which you don't find anywhere in Africa or the world. A species of lizard which responds to the call of a human being. When I first arrived in 1958 in the land called Rhodesia, now known as Zimbabwe, I found an African there who was a tourist attraction. He was a game warden who made strange sounds, calling out, and as he called out, these strange lizards, the only type of lizard anywhere on earth which responds to the human voice, used to come out of cracks and out of holes in the ground, and together...
I just said they live in the ground.
That's exactly right.
And he's verifying it.
Yeah, where else could they go?
Yeah.
They can't be really openly seen because people would shit themselves.
Uh-huh.
So they live in the subterranean earth, yeah.
Probably a lot cooler for them, too.
Yeah, it's more their environment.
Uh-huh.
It's warmer in the it's closer to the core of the planet.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Around this African. And it was this African game warden who told me that the sounds he is making are not just noise. They are the speech of the Chitauri star gods.
Isn't it a staggering coincidence that Cecil Rhodes, one of the greatest Illuminati frontmen, perhaps certainly of modern times, who did so much to imprison Africa, should choose to be buried at the point where this is all going on?
You see, sir, Cecil John Rhodes went his way into the hearts of Africans, and in their despair, wise men of the Mashona people, wise men of Matebele people, tried to make Cecil John Rhodes one of them. They told him about the secrets of the Matopo Mountains, that under the Matopo Mountains lies a city of great wisdom, which is the home of the last survivors of the Chitauri god.
Wow, they're all underground.
Beings in that part of Africa. And if you go to the Matopo Mountains and you carry a 4-pound hammer and you strike certain parts of that landscape with that hammer, it gives out a hollow sound which shows you that
there's an underground.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Cities.
Yep.
Caverns deep underground. There are two sets of mountains. There is the Matopo Mountains, and then to the east of Zimbabwe, there are the great mountains known as the Inyangani, the Weeping Moon Mountains. There, even now, people disappear without trace. Really? Sometimes a person would disappear for several days and reappear a few days later, not knowing where he had been or where she had been. And white people have disappeared there. Black people in their thousands have disappeared there. It was there that I also went missing for 4 days in 1959 in one of the most traumatic experiences of my life.
Wow.
What happened? Well, it's a long story, sir. My teacher, Elizabeth Moyo, had sent me to get a special herb which grows only on the foothills of those mountains. It was just an ordinary day like any other, just a beautiful day like this one outside here. And I love the African wilderness. I'm at home in the bush, especially in the days when I was still in good health.
That sounds so beautiful.
It's beautiful, man.
I'd love to see Africa.
You'd rather be in the bush.
Yeah, man. That just sounds so beautiful, man.
Well, imagine the times you've been in a forest.
Right?
Every time I've ever been in a forest, I didn't want to leave.
True.
And it's the same thing with the seashore.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave it because it's nature. Nature is by nature.
That's true.
Beautiful, and you want to be in it.
That's beautiful.
I love the animals. I love their smell, and I love the smell of the vegetation. And I was looking for this herb when all of a sudden a bright blue mist fell all around me. It took me some time to react to this strange thing. It was a hot day, and all of a sudden the temperature around me dropped. It was as if I was on the slope of a very cold mountain, but it was a warm day. And then the next moment, I was in what appeared to be a metal-lined tunnel, a caving tunnel, and I was lying on what looked like a workbench, a very large workbench of some kind. You know, an iron table which an engineer or somebody working with metal would use for welding and cutting metal upon. But this workbench was very brightly polished.
Huh.
He got abducted.
Yeah.
And there I was lying there with my trousers missing and only my khaki shirt when I saw again through what appeared to be like blue mist a number of moving objects, which at first I thought were dolls. And these objects were moving towards me. I noticed with mild surprise that they were very thin, short, human-like creatures.
The Greys.
Yeah, I was going to say this is probably
with very, very large melon-shaped heads.
Yeah.
The Greys.
That's Greys.
What does he think they are?
Yeah, are they
The creatures had no noses, as human beings have. They had only small little holes on either side of where the nose would be, and their mouths were like knife cuts at the bottom of their faces. And these creatures were coming towards me. In color, they were gray, like certain types of fish.
Dolphin.
There you go, the Greys.
Look like a dolphin.
And they wore silvery gray garments which reached up to their necks and up to their wrists. I couldn't see whether they were wearing boots or not at that time. And while I was looking at these creatures, I suddenly was aware that something was above me, standing there, and I looked up straight into the face of one of them, a much taller one than the others. And this creature was wearing a garment, like a tight-fitting overall, without any buttons or anything, which reached up to its neck, but its wrists were bare. I noticed that the creature had very long fingers. Its fingers had and each of its fingers had an extra joint, and it ended in a claw, a black claw like that.
A black claw? Was there like something on their fingers or something? Like, that's interesting.
It is.
Of a chicken or a certain kind of bird. And
that reminds me of the people from Thailand, what they put on their fingers, the long, like, spiral type things. Maybe it's a representation of these things.
It could be, yeah.
Thumb was not here, but here in the middle of the hand.
Their thumb was in the middle of their hand?
That's crazy.
Interesting.
And this thing was standing above my head and looking down at me, and I was looking at its eyes, which were very strange indeed. It was as if it was wearing plastic goggles over its eyes. I could see its eyes inside these tinted.
They have a film over their eyes.
Oh my god.
Like a full contact over their eyes to protect them from the sun.
This is like back in 2004.
I know.
3 or something like that he interviewed Kratos.
Right?
Wow. And now they found they're supposed to be fake videos, but whatever. They have like goggles on over their eye, and they actually have pupils and stuff.
Yep.
The Greys. Wow, that's crazy he said that.
Right?
That's crazy.
That's interesting. Like, this is verifying a lot of other people's testimonies, what Kratos is saying. And he wasn't exposed to the shit that we were.
No. Not at all. He's a Zulu tribesman.
There you go.
I mean, he's a shaman. So, like, no. He's not on the internet looking at fucking George Norrie or anything.
Exactly.
No.
Goggles. And it had holes on either side here, but it had no nose as I have. Its jaws were very small, and its mouth was a slit with tiny little scale-like things where its lips should be. And the creature carried a horrible smell on it.
The horrible smell of the Greys, that pissy, like, sulfur type smell.
Sulfur.
Yeah.
Sulfur.
Ammonia. Let's see if he explains it, the smell.
I can't describe that smell. It was a metallic chemical smell, which seemed to combine the smell you would smell when somebody is burning brass or copper, and a very ugly chemical smell. These two smells combined. And this creature was looking down at me.
Maybe it's like their deodorant or something.
I could not move. And the next thing I knew was a terrible pain on my left thigh. It was as if somebody had just stabbed me right to the bone. I screamed and I tried to jump away, but my body was inactive.
That's fucked, dude.
Can't move.
Could not move. I was not tied to any chain. I was not chained to the top of this table. There was no belt tying me, but I could not move my body. And when I looked down at what was happening, I found that one of the shorter creatures had driven something very painful into my left thigh.
Ow.
And then, while I watched, horrified, the creature pulled out this thing, and I saw that it was like a pencil made of shining metal with what appeared to be a flexible cable at the back. And
so it was some kind of machine.
Before I could do anything, sir, my head was seized by the creature above me. It caught me on either side of the head like this. And then a third creature drove something into my right nostril here.
Ow.
Fuck.
It was as if I had been shot. The pain was so terrible, sir, that I screamed and screamed. Blood filled my mouth. Blood spurted out of the nostril, and the creature did not seem to care.
That one guy was talking about how he had a bloody nose, too. Same thing Kratos talking about.
That's why people say, I mean, if you have common sense, there's no way that there's not something to this. Because everybody reports the same thing, and they can't be collaborating with each other.
No.
That's ridiculous.
But they say the same thing.
I was stupefied. The pain was so intense, so terrible. And then, quietly, brutally, the creature pulled out the thing that it had stabbed me in the nose with. And blood flowed into my mouth, into...
Ow!
He said that too. His mouth filled with blood.
Ugh.
They shoved something right in your fucking nostril cavity.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem too good. If that much blood flow happens.
It's not good.
Out of my nostril, and I was choking. And then the big creature coldly turned my head this way, so that blood came out of the mouth, and which gave me some kind of relief. And after what seemed like an eternity of pain, the creature brought something out of somewhere, which looked like an old-fashioned tea strainer in appearance, and it put this thing close to my nose.
Ow.
And then I seemed to drift away, and the pain subsided.
Well, at least they eased your pain.
Laughing gas, mobile laughing gas.
I know, right?
No, sir. It was torture so intense that even now I can't describe it.
Oh, bless his heart.
That's insane.
Oh, that's so gross they do that shit.
And after that, sir, I was left alone. Except for the big creature, which stood to my right side this time, with its arms folded, looking down at me. And then, while I was looking at this creature, trying to appeal to it, no pain anymore, no pain, please, I was pleading. Pictures suddenly flooded my mind. Pictures of buildings sunk in a red lake of water. Buildings rotting away. Buildings that appeared as if they had been bombed. And
wow.
Mars?
Cities sunk in terrible mud. Trees sticking out like rotten ghosts. Trees without leaves, without branches, sticking out of the mud as if they'd been poisoned. I saw visions of this. And then, through an entrance which I had not seen before, came a strange and terrible being. It was exactly like this. It was tall, made entirely of
That's a robot.
metal, with burning eyes and a snout. It didn't do anything. It just moved and came to stand at my left side. It didn't touch me or anything like that. It just stood there, making a strange humming sound.
It's a machine, dude.
Okay.
Wow, 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 like that. Then the creatures took me out of that room after the metal creature and this pink creature had gone. This creature took me out of that room, assisted by another one, and they pushed me along a corridor which curved slowly in that direction, towards my right. And there, I was shown many things which even today I don't understand. I was shown little versions of this creature swimming in huge cylinders made out of what looked like glass, in a pinkish liquid, like ugly little frogs inside the liquid. They looked like aborted human fetuses. They were very terrible and disgusting. And then we came.
Are they growing fetuses?
Probably.
Ew.
Yeah.
This reminds me, Allie Carter talked about the baby farms.
Yeah.
That they do underground.
Which I thought it was just stolen infants, but it's more than that.
It's more than that, yeah.
To another room. And there I saw a number of people undergoing the same torture that I had undergone.
That's so awful. Night, Moonphase.
Thank you, Moonphase.
Yeah.
One particular person whom I passed very close to was a white man, definitely a European, with a yellowish beard and mustache and long, straggly blood-crusted hair. This man looked into my eyes and I looked into his eyes. And we were so close we were as I went past him. Then, to cut a long story short, I found myself in the bush again. But I was wearing only my shirt. My boots were gone and so was my trousers. So I took off my shirt and wore it around my waist as a loincloth. And I started traveling, not knowing really in which direction I was going. Then I came to a track and I walked along that. And some time later, I saw people coming towards me. It was a group of young men and young women, Mashona people, and they were going to a trading store, I later learned. I asked them where Elizabeth Moyo's homestead was, and they directed me to it. But they kept a safe distance away from me. And later I learned why. I was carrying a horrible, non-human smell upon me.
Ah, they could smell it on him.
When at long last I came to Mrs. Moyo's village, all the dogs in that place went hysterical. They came at me in a pack, wanting to tear me to pieces. And only the villagers managed to save my life there. Mrs. Moyo asked me where I had been, and I said I did not know. And then she said, I know you had been taken by the little ones. I said, yes. I cannot understand. She said, you must not try to understand. You were chosen by the gods as a living sacrifice. So don't even try to...
Yeah, something tells me the leaders of these people struck a deal too.
Am I supposed to be sacrificed then because I had the fucking experience? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
But how could I not talk about it? I wanted to understand what had been done to me, by whom and why.
That was a great video.
That was a great video.
I haven't seen that so long. That was great.
Well, that's the end of the stream, folks. We're going to put on A New Hope. If you want to put on A New Hope, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Peace and Maranatha. Love you guys. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow is Ozempic Day.
Yay.
I might throw up on camera.
Oh my god, what?
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
That's a boy.
That is a boy.